Hello and welcome to the Central Division Playoffs Round 1. Tonight we have MSU Maroon versus the USHP Eutectics. Towery, tell us about our opponents tonight.
Of course, thank you. And for those wondering, the UHSP Eutectics, that stands for the University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy in St. Louis. Now, UHSP, they are out of the Central A Division 3 with a 4-2 record coming to the playoff bracket with the 5 seed. They have an all-star lineup of great players with Yushiki, Yebi, Ian Seven, Ryu, and Sammy Bear. A very flexible team with who fill in a lot of roles and make strong compositions in a lot of maps. Definitely playing into the meta right now with the double controller and double duelist looks, as well as mixing in some of the sky. So yeah, why don't you tell us a bit about our MSU esports?
Gotcha. Well, last that we left our heroes, it was against UT Chattanooga in a 2-1 loss, but nothing they won't bounce back against tonight. So first things first, we have Dubes. He is our secondary duelist and our flex agent. You'll see him on a couple different roles throughout the maps tonight. Then we have Mika-chan. He is our entry player, mostly known as that Neon with the Odin. Will be running in and gunning people down all night tonight. Then we have Rain. He is our IGL, mainly a controller, and also will flex a little bit, but you'll mainly see him on that controller role tonight. We have Jalen, who is our initiator and controller, and then we also have Bunga, who is our scan initiator, but you'll also see him flex a little bit in between that initiator role. Um,
And so,
so
just to lay out a bit of what's at stake tonight, we're in round one of Division Three Central Playoffs, and Mississippi State here needs a win to continue on in the playoff bracket and further their push to qualify for nationals. Dubes and Bunga, two of our seniors here, graduate in just a few weeks this semester. This could be very well their last game playing under the MSU Maroon title. So we're hoping for a big win here tonight to keep pushing for that qualification and to maybe make it to nationals towards the end of the year.
absolutely, Towery. So it looks like we are getting into the picks now. Looks like we have Bind up. Viper pick, and then Rain as our Brimstone and Bunga, looking like we have that Sky pick. On the other side, looks like we have a very similar composition. The only changes, it looks like they're going to be running that double duelist comp like you highlighted in the pregame, with the Yoru and the Waylay, which can be a very solid duo.
Yeah, so the recent patch being felt as we see double sky on binds. Of course, in this most recent patch, she just got a rechargeable flash after 60 seconds. So teams are going to be able to use that to get more information in the early and mid rounds to help them move around the map some. Uh, Speaking of the patch, though, the current map pool changes are not yet implemented into NECC. We still have Corrode and Abyss in the map pool, and yeah, so we'll see how this one plays out here.
Yeah, and we'll see those map changes going into I think the finals. So something these teams are going to have to get ready for. But let's get into the action here. It looks like I believe we have MSU Maroon on attack, with the Eutectics on defense, and it looks like MSU Maroon is going into an A hit with a little lurk on that B long site.
Yeah, I'm expecting a shower fight coming out of UHSP here. Skyflash coming out, but playing back is, I believe, Jalen. There's a walking into a double setup here. One sound for UHSP, and they quickly fall back. Dubes now looking to maybe find a timing up short after seeing three fighting out showers.
Yeah, and we
And
have
the road.
Bunga going up on that lurk on B, just trying to get a little bit of information out of some of that Sky Flash, but then we have Mika-chan running in and getting that pick into Lamps. It looks like they
Yeah.
are going back into Bunga to go into a B hit, I believe.
And now UHSP a bit confused where the bulk of MSU's team is. They get the info that the Tejo drone's coming in shower and doesn't see anything. And MSU looking to group up here to try to take the A sites now that we're in a 4v4. Sammy Bear located at the close angle, playing off of his waylay back sights.
Looks like we're about to go into the hit here out of the showers. Doob's getting ready to toss that Roomba in. We got the Sky Flash and they funnel in, get that kill on Sammy Bear, and they keep flooding into sight. Bunga flashes around, tries to take that back sight position.
And great utility here to clear the close angles, and as we get the waylay dashing in and out to get a hit, Jalen though trades it out, and then Doobs getting the pick on Heaven, 3v1 now, just Ryu left, looking to see what he can make of it, try to isolate a 1v1, but MSU playing patient, not really giving him anything.
And this should be an easy cleanup here. Oh, he gets one and then Doobs cleans up that kill.
Yeah, and a great recovery from MSU, losing one early out of showers, but managing to bring that round back.
Absolutely, and I think you said in the middle of that round where USHP really didn't feel like they had a good grasp on that map. It's a good call there from Maroon to toss a little bit of question marks over on that B-long site with the Sky Flash, and I believe Bunga also used that dog over there as well.
Yeah, so playing with a bit of the utility, making the rotates come out for UHSP. Great round from MSU as they look forward to a bonus round with better weaponry. UHSP getting a flash out of B short, but not finding any info. And you can see MSU ready for that showers fight again, but this time there won't be that coming out from UHSP. Really just
almost
playing... you can go ahead, yeah?
Almost giving that space up, which is very pivotal on that A site hit, getting that space for the attackers. We're kind of into a bit of a default here, looking probably just to get a few ult pips. That way we can build towards our ult economy. I think they're just defaulting, looking for a small pick here.
Yeah, MSU really not wanting to run into the stack as many teams often default to on pistol here. Of course, the stack being on A. MSU slowly sneaking into that. 4 of them they managed to get 1, but 2 traded out. Now MSU trying to make sure they recover some of those guns. And yeah,
and now we are juggling them off the map. I have seen them do this countless amounts of times. Actually bringing them to B site. It looks like we're going to a B
all
site
alone
now.
here on site. Realizes now that maybe that the bulk of Maroon is coming with a better weaponry. Go for the plant here. Ryu manages to get 1. Finds the planter, but yeah, the better weaponry really pulls through here for MSU, and they managed to clean up the round with 3 alive, saving 3 guns into the bonus round.
Beautiful round. Great calling there by Rain, kind of mixing up their side hits and what they're showing early. One thing I wish that we could have seen out at MSU there was just a little bit more of utility, just to clear that side out a little bit more, just so we had more guns going to this bonus round. But I think a very easy cleanup. I think in the end of both rounds, our post plants are looking very, very solid thus far. Looks like we're going back into a little bit of a default. They're expecting a little bit of A pressure here down short with nothing. Sky flashed through hookah and got nothing.
Yeah, UHSP set up with a huge triple stack lined up at A shorts. Doesn't manage to find anyone as MSU just playing this really slow. With a large pack lined up in Fountain here, maybe leading towards B right now as Mika-chan is just playing for the info over on A, as well as Doobs back in spawn, or I believe that's someone else on the Tejo. Viper Scope, you see the rotates coming out from UHSP. They're really getting some deep info on showers, trying to verify or not that hit's coming in.
No, it looks like
Sure, taking that U-Haul, and yeah, that'll trigger the rotate from MSU, and they get the 1 in showers. UHSP realizing now the hit's coming in. There's has 2 on A. But shut down off of the waylay stun is Sammy Bear, and the waylay goes down himself. MSU Maroon finds the sites with
MSU Maroon
advantage.
Is just completely outgunning them early in this game. like I was saying earlier, that showers control is very pivotal, and you can kind of see it in that situation there, where if that Yoru could have gotten a pick, he could have TP'd out, and that would have put them either at the equal man advantage or down one. This is another very solid post plant that should be easy to clean up.
Last player standing.
Lane able to
the
get
bench position, gets two. Well done on the post plant, and that is a crucial bonus round converted for MSU. Now surely breaking the economy for UHSP and forcing them back onto another eco. This also allows the ult cycle to come in, as we see Rain only one away from the Brimstone ult, and Bunga and Dubes just two away from their ults here, while UHSP is pretty far behind in ults and again on an eco. Tough sights for them.
Yeah, and we can probably assume that MSU is going to keep this default up. I mean, it's working so well for them, just creating question marks and then playing off of those. As we see USHP going into a really fast shower hold. It actually looks like they just went for that ult, or looks like they're trying to work on getting that Brimstone ult as well. Bunga uses his dog to clear out the hookah position, and now we are into that default position, just looking to get a pick and to play off of it. But like you're saying, they kind of have set up in a 2-3 fashion. They have
the
a
pack moving around for UHSP and exploring down a short. However, aren't going to find much, as Maroon are currently located in showers and in the B default.
Now this could be dangerous. It does look like they are regrouping into an A short hit. Now I don't believe USHP bought any any shorties, judges, or anything like that, so we won't have to worry about any type of shotguns. But it looks like
the slow comes in on Bunga, but Dubes with the wrap behind from showers is gonna find two in short.
And he spams one through the smoke.
30 seconds left.
He gets another one. Now he's on for the ace.
On for the ace. You know he's wanting this one. Searching for that last player.
Most importantly, he gets that ult on cycle for that next round, going into their bye round. Looks like, yes, we have Bunga out here baiting him to get the ult. And there's the ace from Dubes. Absolutely amazing plays. One thing that I really want to highlight is that showers crunch, which is why showers are so important going into that A site hit. It looks like USM has just been dominating that space every single round. And it has a lot to do with the default. Then, like I said, creating those question marks throughout the map, spreading them thin, and then just playing off of that.
Yeah, a lot of the times UHSP is taking this early map space in either showers or down A short, and MSU with their slow default allowing them to take that space, but then re-clearing it once they believe the coast is clear. It's been working out well for them here. And we see another shower take coming out from UHSP. And MSU just patiently letting them take that space, going to anticipate the push-outs, but not try to overextend themselves. UHSP very committal on this push here, but Rain and Bunga clear up two of them. Just standing there left, hides in the corner, sneaks around and gets two. And now MSU committing to the sites, but with showers and their flank not really known about, they very insecure, and Sammy Bear finds a third.
Great round there from Sammy Bear, just continuing that push. I think the MSU players were completely caught off guard, thinking there's no way this guy continues to push. And he kept doing it and got 3 out of it. So great push there from Showers by Sammy Bear. But there's a great example on the defensive side of what that Showers control can do for you. You can kind of you saw them crunching in on Mika-chan there. Just there's nothing that you can do. Kind of like a boa constrictor when he starts tightening it down.
And yeah, so UHSP, their triple push strategy pays off finally, and you gotta think they're gonna keep going to it with this trio of the Brim, Wele, and Yoru here. MSU back to the regular default, skydogging down his shorts. Doesn't find anyone playing close, knows that the push out isn't coming from there as they lean back towards B here. I don't believe that the regular Sky Flash out of UHSP came through Fountains, so they're playing off of that lack of info that they have here, as we have Eutectics, two very pushed up positions. Dubes takes a shot to the head, but is still on about half health. And yeah, UHSP really not buying in on this presence here, as Ryu finds one on the isolation. MSU wants to commit to this. Will ripping the ult here, finding one backside, gets taken down by Ian7, but traded completely by Rain. Now MSU has the site in a 3v3, but the Eutectics with so much map control here. Really,
And I believe that Brimstone ult come in, and the one thing about the Eutectics is that as Bungie gets the pick, he gets traded out. We're in a 2v1 situation here with Jalen. No util in the pocket, and I believe both of the Eutectics players still have a good bit of util, and Bomb's not even down yet. We have 13 seconds left. It does look like he is going to try to plan on A. This is going to be a close one. I don't think we have time to get it, and it looks like the Eutectics will get around just off of timing here. Kind of unfortunate play. I don't think Maroon put enough emphasis on that A site to really force their hand to rotate, and so we kind of saw kind of the bad side of a default there when we're not creating enough question marks. But great round by the Eutectics there, just holding their ground. That, like you were saying, that 3-2 setup on A has just been been a masterclass, honestly. And you have that Yoru TP that can quickly get to that other site in case they do start putting a lot of pressure over there.
Yeah, the quick rotates allow UHSP to clean up, to deny that plant ever coming down, and the Brimstone ult really solidified that round there. As now we see Maroon playing a bit more to this A side, want to maybe deny the shower control that has normally been coming out from the Tactics.
We also have that Viper's Pit's down on B long as well. It looks like Bunga is going to try to work a little bit into that. I think more just holding that space. That way we have somewhere to go to.
Eutectics here is looking rough for Dubes as the replay is coming out with the Role Yoru. Dash slow coming in, but Rain has his back there on the trade. Makes sure that Dubes stays up. They know the Yoru's here. Jump spot finds him. Our Viper, the Mika-chan, lurking up, finds two backside with the Odin. Clearly, Eutectics were unaware of that Viper wall lurk coming in as the shower presence was just so heavy. And now, two Eutectics remaining, both on the flank. One of them, at least one of them known from the TP, and 5v2 post plant for Maroon here. Dude's taking an early fight, rips the head off of Ryu. 1v5 now, and Ian7 likely just playing for some frags here. Doesn't really have a real shot at coming into this round. Playing with the flashes, and Mika-chan gets his third on the round with the Odin. Excellent backstab there on the lurk through U-Haul. Finds the weakness out of the A site hold from Eutectics and really punishes him for it.
Yeah, that was absolutely beautiful there from Mika-chan. Just the USHP Eutectics just had no clue that he was lurking up through that short into the lamps position. First time we've seen him do it, and I think we'll see him do it again because it was so successful. And MSU Maroon was also just very, very knowledgeable in the fact that there was a secondary flank coming there from that sky as well.
Yeah, and we see here UHSP off the back of that rounds forced down onto an eco, and they're sticking with the same setup they've been going for here with the 3-2 with the double duelist on A with the Brimstone. And MSU, as always, playing that slow default, really playing for that information and map control. Taking a slow approach into showers with the Tejo drone, clearing the close. They know they have that space for now, but similar to last rounds, are susceptible to the reclear coming out. Viper looks like comes down from Mika-chan here. The rotates coming out quickly from UHSP. MSU still, even with the pit down, taking their time here to make sure they do their due diligence on the A site.
Now, it does look like we have a pivot, I believe, going into that B side. I mean, we pushed 4 over here to that A site, but it looks like we're using that Viper's Pit to our advantage and completely confusing these USHP players. Now, we see Rain going through that teleport, which tells the other team, hey, this guy might be leaving, and we're going into a B hit. Flashes do something.
Dubes with one on the sites gets traded out backside by Ryu, but Bunga, of course, with that trade back. And while that's going on, Mika-chan, the thorn in the back, gets another lurk kill. He's traded up by Sammy Bear. Rain now with an easy kill on Yebi. Of course, that little map control keeps every angle a danger for them. And Sammy Bear now with Mika-chan's Odin, just looking to get some extra frags. Does it? Oh, well, it seems like he might be going for it now.
I believe Bunga saw him on that that turnaround there, so it should be an easy cleanup here for MSU Maroon. Another great round call by Rain. He's been absolutely beautiful, and I know last week they were talking. He's just now kind of getting into that micro play style calling, so it's really good to see him flourishing in that role. I mean, we've seen some great calling out of him. I think one thing that's kind of taking MSU Maroon and stepping them up to that next level is his calling right now, because it feels like the Eutectics are just kind of running in circles.
And that was a wonderful idea there on that attack side, to get the safe Viper pit down and then allow the Eutectics to rotate over to A, obviously wanting to contest that pit and the plant coming down. But the pivot comes out and only one on the site for UHSP on the hit. And now into this round here, a bit more even of a buys, and not many ults online, just the Waylay ults coming into this one. Looking to maybe see that on a retake scenario, as they're not fighting too aggressively this time on A. MSU now, I mean, they've been, have decided to start taking the shower space on most rounds, not allowing them to have that early round space that they are used to. Teho drone coming in, finding one in U-Haul.
I believe Mika-chan just saw the top of Yoru's head there. Now, one thing that you will see is MSU Maroon leaving that spike kind of in the middle of the map. You might be thinking to yourself, don't you need that to plant? Well, the way that they're playing allows them to pivot really easily from site to site. And you'll see one of the players pick up that bomb as we go into the side hit on A.
Looks like the hit coming out. 2 stacked in U-Haul for UHSP. Jalen finds the first. Dubes on top of the triple box, finds the second, and now they have a completely free site. Well done on the split pressure hit from MSU to get a 5v3 post plant that looks almost unwinnable on a buy round for the Eutectics. Waylay ults, it's interesting to see if they're going to try to commit it for this retake. Smokes coming down. UHSP going for U-Haul control. Double stack set up. Bunga not able to find one. Jalen falls off of the slow. Suddenly it's a 3v3, now a 3v2 in favor of the Eutectics in this post plant. Time running low though. Jalen finds the first, the second, and Dubes finds the trade man to take out Rain. And what a great 2v3. Excellent spray control there from Rain. And that's going to force a quick timeout out of UHSP to try to respond to this pressure that MSU is applying all over the map. They've been able to take sites almost at will. And with a post plant like that not working out for them, there really needs to be a change that they've decided.
One thing you said is they're taking these sites at will. And one thing I do want to highlight is Dube's play style here. You can tell that he's feeling himself. He is just getting in sight, getting one or two, and the team is flooding on behind him. I mean, it makes a duelist job easy when the rest of the team is cleaning up the kills as well. But him popping on top of those boxes and just getting another one out of Yoru there in Lamps is just not something that you see every day. So just another beautiful entry there from him. Now, one thing that I do think that we'll see out of the Eutectics here after this timeout is a little bit more pressure on the front lines. I think that's one thing that they're missing. They just don't have any space, or they get the space and then they'll leave the space right afterwards. So one thing I do want to see out of the Eutectics is getting that space and keeping it, especially that showers control, because they fight for it every single round, and they just kind of go, all right, well, we have our ult orb. Y'all can have this space now. Have fun with that on y'all's hits, because we're not going to worry about it.
Yeah, it feels like so many of these rounds, Eutectics are fighting into an aggressive area, but getting backstabs like Mika-chan and U-Haul or Dubes right there on that site hit. So interesting to see how they change things up. Currently, the default remains the same pretty much for both teams. Eutectics with the Waylay, Yoru, and Brimstone on A, leaving Sky and Viper to sort of anchor down this B site here. Viper on that aggressive line. It's going to be found out by the Sky Dog here. MSU probably anticipating some sort of change, wary of a sort of trap play coming out. But Ryu with an over-aggressive, he gets shut down by Rain. That's the Viper smokes down on the B site. Still, though, technically strong in the rotates. Or not really over-rotating here, fighting Showers out instead.
Now, one thing I do want to highlight that is that the Eutectics still are on a save round. So we won't likely see that change of style or anything until the next round. Jalen gets 2 out of Showers, and then Sammy Bear gets that trade, also upgrading the weapon. But here in this 4v2 scenario, we should once again see MSU easily clean it up as they kind of set up. Now, the big question is, are they aware of the possible flank? I believe they should be.
After seeing that fight out Showers, they are. Spike plant delayed so he can hand it over to Mika-chan, who gets 1 orb closer to his ults. Now 4v2, Mika-chan finds out the elbow with the spam.
Dangerous.
2 from Sammy Bear, Mika-chan with the quick reactions on the trade, but things could have really gotten dicey there, as really Maroon was not aware of that flank there. Great trigger discipline to get 2 from Sammy Bear, but ultimately insufficient to win that clutch on their eco. Now with Eutectics on a bit of a stronger buy, maybe now we start to see sort of the game plan change up off of that timeout.
I would absolutely expect it. Now, we don't see a change up of their comp. Now, it does look like their Sky and their Viper are going to be fighting down that B short area. I assume to get that and insert one and then play off of that, but we will see what they do. No, it looks like they just flash out and then back off.
For the first time in a while, it feels like we see a 5-person default over towards one side of the map here. All 5 of MSU Maroon over towards A. Razor coming out, finds 1 on bench. Yoru now isolated into Showers here, has to face the fight with Rain, and of course he's going to be taken down there. Ian, though, off of the teleport, finds 2. That's Spike down outside of Showers. MSU is now going to have to bring their forces back from site to fight back for their Spike back. Excellent little protocol there out of the sky as the orbital strike comes down. Not sure really what that cleared, and then Ian, off of the timing,
who is also on for that ace here. Will Doobs be able to cancel that out? Ian swings, Doobs sits him down, and we are into a 1v1 scenario here. We got Doobs versus that Brim Sammy Bear, who has just been clutch for them all game and continues to be that. Great round there from the Eutectics. I think we saw a little bit more of that aggressive side, which was much needed. I felt like they were playing a little bit too much on their heels there. But great clutch there by Sammy Bear to kind of close that round down because they got a little dicey there.
Yeah, a bit of a hero ball moment out of Ian there. A bold teleport play into the B shower, or into the Showers on A. Managed to get that 2, get another 2 later on in the rounds. I mean, you got to really applaud him for making that round happen and getting 3 on the board for the Eutectics on this defense half. As now we see the Yoru switch over to B, and the usual 2 on B plus the Yoru fighting out B short here. They're going to walk straight into the backs of MSU Esports. Ian finds 1, finds 2, and yeah, that's the B default. Really just crushed right there. Spike recovered by Mika-chan, but he's just going to quickly get away from the 3 that they found out over to the B and try to group up with his team to fight
And they're forced into this. We see that Viper Pit come back down, but their Brim Molly was absolutely beautiful, stalling them out from coming out of Showers. And it looks like they're trying to get that plant over to Jalen, so we have to do the post plant. Now, one thing that we do have, I believe, is a lot of Teho utility, which is really good for that post plant scenario. And I believe if we can get that Brim down, it looks like we're not going to be able to get anything down, honestly. They are just completely pressuring this side. As we see the Teho ult come in, completely clearing out backside, Jalen gets 1. And resets. Is he able to get another one? Sits down another one. Tosses that Molly in for Lamp. And now the Eutectics begin their slow trot into that Viper's Pit. Mika-chan playing a very safe spot here. But do they read it?
Yeah, this is a really dangerous spot for the Eutectics in a Viper's Pit versus an Odin, and all of the players really low into this pit now. Jalen gets to spam through the smoke, and Mika-chan with that Odin leads up 2 from his Viper's Pit. And that's a big round to win there. You felt like Eutectics really had a grip on that round after getting 2, walking down short, but MSU able to convert the 3v5 off of their big ultimates in the Viper's Pit and the Tejo ultimates. Great round to close out the half, and yeah, MSU with a solid lead coming into the second one.
And Dubes is sitting at a 16-2 KD ratio right now, which is absolutely insane. So we can probably assume that he's going to continue on this heater. Now we get to look at the Eutectics attack side. We get to kind of dive into that as MSU Maroon sets up in a very similar 2-3 setup, but it looks like they are expecting a little bit of waylay nonsense to happen down short, and Eutectics are not playing into that at all.
Yeah, be giving the false information over on B Fountain by getting hit by that Sky Flash. Is now 5 players for Eutectics grouped up towards A, moving with a bit more tempo than MSU Maroon were doing on that first half. Probably about to launch into the site hit. Smoke's coming down. Jalen and Rain gonna double stack in U-Haul, try to hold down this space on an A site hit as 3 are flanking for Maroon. Rain finds the first, doesn't get traded out by Yushikyu's, instead shut down by Jalen. The U-Haul space still being held down strong by Maroon right now. And Eutectics find one on the flank, traded out, realizes that they don't really have that much map control on this post plant now. Ian 7 found out by the salvos right there, gets taken down. Now Sammy Bear all alone in the 1v2. Smoke down to try to give him some space to work with. Finds a spam. 1v1 now for Mika-chan, and Sammy Bear with that classic right click takes him down. It was a really close round right there for MSU Esports, but ultimately the 1v2 coming out from Sammy Bear, and I mean, he has been one of the shining players out of Eutectics so far on Vines.
He has been absolutely clutch. It looks like in the high pressure situations, his BPM is just staying low, and that is just something that when you're in that flow state, you just can't replicate. But he's hoping to bring that into map 2 after this one. It looks like we're setting up in a 1-4 setup. We're expecting a heavy showers presence, but the Eutectics just aren't playing into that, as Mika-chan, I believe he might have spotted 2 there, but knows of 1.
Now, MSU on this eco trying to get a bit tricky here with the 4-inch showers, and Eutectics being very cautious of what they see around the map, trying to figure out where the stack might be on the pistols for MSU Esports.
Yeah, we also see the Eutectics
slow default, yeah,
playing that slow default as well, kind of very similar to what MSU Maroon was doing. They're kind of just working on crunching on that B site right onto Mika-chan. Kind of making him immobile and essentially getting them that man advantage. Now, very interested to see what Mika-chan does here. He's able to get 1.
Yeah, they find the 1 person on site to manage to avoid the stack, and Mika-chan does good to go 1-for-1, but with the superior weaponry and the whole bomb sites to themselves, you gotta imagine this is not gonna be a very winnable round for MSU. 3 on the flank, however, maybe finding Ryu here, who's aware of it, but outmatched in terms of the number. He gets Dubes on that flank. Gets Bunga 2, no trade coming out. Jalen found out in spawn, and just Rain left with a pistol. Looking to maybe get some ult orbs, some frags, but really doesn't have a chance to come back into this round win. Solid anti-eco coming out from Eutectics here. Get some ult orbs online, keep 4 alive into the next round, and MSU gonna have to come with a solid buy round to beat this bonus.
Absolutely, that was a great round there by the Eutectics. Playing that slow default is so strong when you just have that major weapon advantage. It looks like MSU Maroon was trying to do something a little quirky there with that 3 on the flank, but Ryu absolutely shut it down with that Guardian. So it looked like we're going back into that 2-3 setup again. And then we got the Eutectics. Looks like they're going for a full A site hit. Very similar, I think, to what they were doing in that round 1.
Yeah, really, Eutectics looking to spread out back into a more ordinary default. Maroon though, with Jalen and Bunga looking to maybe fight out into showers here. Dube's just getting a bit of info, falling back as he's short. Gets the slow on Pikachu in Yuka.
That was a huge flash there by Bunga as well. Huge flash by Bunga, getting them off of Mikachan's back, and then now we're able to heal him back up to 100 HP as the Eutectics go back into a short, which is the stack for Mississippi State. So we'll see how this plays out for the Eutectics here.
Yeah, MSU sensing a bit of trickery out of them out of Eutectics. Realize that the hit's probably coming into A now. Dubes holding U-Haul now, gets the pressure, gets killed, but Jalen able to find one out of short. MSU, with all of the shower control, have most of the sight behind them. Just U-Haul ends the truck space for Texas. As the TP's coming out, just as the rotates were being put in for MSU Esports now. Pikachu flooding into sight really quickly, gets one, gets traded out by Ryu with the Guardian. Bunga now gets one, still lives into back sight. Traded out from Hookah, 2v2 left. Eutectics really low on health. Ian gets good for one. Jalen with the trade, 1v1 now. Ryu versus Jalen. The lower weaponry and lower health for Ryu. Jalen now with the advantage. Able to find a headshot. Great 1v1 win there from him. Almost brought back in the 1v2 by Ryu, and that's a huge round on the board for MSU Esports.
Gotta get that Odin back in Mikachan's hand. Kind of playing a little peekaboo game there. I think Jalen was able to pretty much see where he was moving throughout the whole thing. With the health advantage and gun advantage, Jalen easily closes that round, and now we're into a 10-5 game.
Yeah, and you got to feel for Eutectics there. Really wanted that round to sort of get themselves back with the momentum, but MSU able to convert on that anti-bonus round to halt the momentum coming out from the Eutectics and solidify their lead a bit more. Limited chances left for Eutectics now, only 3 rounds away from losing map 1. You got to see a strong response out of them here. Default coming in, shower space taken. Jalen just with the Bucky holding showers right now. And two TPs coming out, looking to fight back showers with the salvos. Ian gets duped, and Mika-chan goes down as well. The fight just did not work against the 3 members Eutectics have out in showers. Now a 3v5. It's looking rough for the hold over here on A. Only 2 players out of the 3, and all 5 loading up into short.
I've got
likely,
your trail.
Yeah, using the Skydog to find out all 3 of the members' locations for MSU. But they're away from A, going over to B.
Absolutely, they're using that Sky Ultimate to find the weak site just so they could have an easy flow in. They drop the spike. Bunga gets one with that Sheriff, which is a very important kill. Now, one thing I know we wanted to say that round was a loss for UHSP, but truly, with as many kills as they had, they brought it down to a 1v1. MSU just doesn't have any weapons this round. We're looking at pistols, shotguns, Sheriffs, not much here. But are they able to make something out of that? Rain gets 2 with that pump. And it is not traded off of that jump peak. This is now very winnable. They have 1 in the tuck position.
2 Buckies in a dream for MSU Esports. Jalen hopping out, knows there's one in the tunnel. Gets taken down by Jalen. The Phantom's able to trump the Buckies in that 2v2.
A little bit of nonsense.
Doing a great job to bring that close, as Bo calling a timeout for MSU Esports. First of the game for them.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of nonsense there at the end, but the Eutectics were able to clean that up pretty easily. Now, one thing kind of very similar to that defense half for the Eutectics, not being very aggressive on any of those lanes, just allowing the attack to kind of come in, and that default kind of letting it work its magic, honestly, allowing them to get the pick because the defense kind of starts questioning, hey, where are these guys at? And they swing into 2 or 3, and then they just play off of it. So one thing I think we'll see out of MSU here is getting aggressive again. We saw that a lot, I think, last week. I think they were on Vine last week. very similar gameplay. They were much more aggressive than they are so far on this defensive half. Really fighting for that space and forcing that space. So on the retakes, they're easier, or just in general, that way they know where the other team's at.
Yeah, bind with 2 lanes on each site makes it a really interesting sort of question. Can we take the site when we only have 1 lane? How to counteract lane pressure from the other side? And it's one of the more interesting maps to call on. And Rain did a great job on the attack. Now has to figure out how to beat that pressure on the defense here, as we see a more aggressive fight out looking from MSU Maroon off that timeouts. Early showers control with Jalen and Dubes, but solidify that control, starting to fall back now. Eutectics slowly taking that B long space, spot the Sky, who quickly falls back, looking not to get taken out early into the round. Still walking up more and more. Nikachan, I'm sure he's hoping for this peek out with the Odin into the 3. Double TP coming out. You gotta realize now that the spam kill on 1. Eats a Yoru flash. Still managed to hold that site. Texas is completely stalled out right now in the face of this Viper wall. Yeah, they're completely unable to get through, and the TP's coming out. Gonna try their luck over on A because B was quickly shut down for them there.
Now it looks like we can see a little bit of a fake pump here from the Eutectics, kind of going right back into the A site, but MSU has just read this perfectly. They have not missed a beat, and we have Bunga setting up on this little ratty angle here. Let's see if he's able to get any on their peek out. Had the Yoru coming in and Sky Flash as well. Have Yoru come in and Mika-chan is already with that. Bunga not able to get any on that angle. Mika-chan comes and mows them down with the Odin, and now we're in a 3v1 scenario with time ticking down. This round is all but 1 here for MSU. Absolutely beautiful round. No one is moving at all. They read that like a book.
I mean, yeah, that was beautifully done from MSU Esports, shutting down the B site take, and then hearing the TPs come in, knowing that they could have all the showers control, B walk to base short, stay static with their rotates, just anchor down on B. When the re-hit comes out from Eutectics, it is shut down again. Excellently done, and great calling there from the defensive side on MSU. Only 2 chances remaining for Eutectics to make something happen. Shotgun's coming out again from Maroon here. Quick showers control. The Mateo won't respond. So much higher damage coming out. The nade gets 1. Dubes' nade gets 2. Rain gets 2 more kills of his own. And that showers hit just completely shut down with the Tejo salvos and the raise grenade. Only Sammy Bear left in the 1v4, and I mean, just look at the discipline from MSU Esports. They're letting him have all of the sight, they don't care. But as soon as he walks into their crosshairs, that's it. And now MSU Esports on round 12, map points here on Binds, with only 6 on the board for Eutectics.
What a beautiful round there by our Tejo. I believe, is it Jalen on it? Yeah, Jalen on that Tejo. Absolutely beautiful ult into the mollies. And then on top of that, we have the Dube nades that gets 2. I mean, absolutely put them in a blender there. I don't even know what I would have done. That was beautiful.
Yeah, and Dubes, after getting 2 with the raise nade, picks up the op. Quickly spotted, or quickly heard, I suppose, from Eutectics. As we get a push here, yeah, they're just not ready for that session. Going for more is MSU Esports. Traded out into a 2v2 though. You gotta wonder if they feel like they overextended a little bit there, but finds the info that there's 2 more waiting in sands for them. Dubes now with that op rotating over to B, getting on that hookah line early in case of the hits, but Eutectics, after equalizing to make it a 3v3, cut noise, walk back towards A. They get the Skydog info. Jalen though, this could be big here on the wraparound showers. Eutectics now speeding up onto site, realizing that it might be free. Get the U-Haul control. Oh, Viper's pit coming down into U-Haul is going to be big for them on this post plant. Jalen now he's found out, but gets Ian first. Now the Raze rocket coming in. Doesn't find the Viper, unfortunately. However, he clogged up the pit. Now the orbital strike coming down doesn't find out where the Viper is either. He's managed to stick around for this long.
Enemy remaining.
The waylay traded now, just the Viper, and Dubes takes the Viper out to win map 1 binds for MSU Esports.
Absolutely beautiful calling there on both sides. We saw a little bit of everything there, but at the end of the day, it was MSU Esports coming out on top of the 13-6 score, and that is binding, folks. I mean, absolutely beautiful calling there on the side of MSU Esports, especially after that timeout by Bo. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, great map 1 for me. The highlight performance had to be from Dubes there. It seems like he had at least 4 Raze rockets in on that map. He was going crazy. He was doing so great on the entries and on those side execs, and then on defense too, getting a lot of clutch kills in important moments. I also think that Mika-chan was playing great with that Odin in hand, finding so many great kills on the lurks or the backstabs. And as we saw towards the ends of that defense halves, he was locked down on those site anchors too. Excellent map from those two players and MSU Esports overall.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic half. Like you said, we can't highlight Dubes enough. Just absolutely shutting them down on the attack half, getting in there, getting 1 or 2. But one thing I do want to highlight is Sammy Bear on that Eutectics team. I mean, you can't ask for a better player in those clutch scenarios. Just would shut him down pretty much every round when he was left on a 1v2, 1v1. I mean, absolutely beautiful play from him.
Yeah, Eutectics, they certainly have some shooters over there. For me, Ian7 was quite standouts, getting so many multi-kills. But overall, the team play, calling, and chemistry, able to take MSU Esports over the line there with a relatively dominant win on map 1, 13-6 scoreline. That's nothing to scoff at. And yeah, I believe that was Maroon's pick. So as we go into map 2, hopefully, or we'll be looking to see if Eutectics have what it takes to respond with map 1 of their own.
Absolutely. I believe we're going into that Haven pick by the Eutectics. A little bit about their Haven. They're 3-1 on it. I mean, absolutely, it looks like dominating the competition. Uh, Strong Haven map. It's a very attack-sided map. So unlike Bind, we have a 3-site map coming up. So that allows a lot more um, room on the attack side, which we saw 2 very strong attack halves. So look forward to seeing more attack-sided gameplay, you could say, over the next map, with both callers just being fantastic.
Yeah, and on binds, MSU Esports going with the double controller look, maybe looking to switch that up, putting Mika-chan on a signature neon with the Odin. Exciting to see that as always. It'll be a pleasure to watch. But yeah, we're anxiously awaiting for that agent select to see what's in store for us on Haven.
Absolutely. I can almost guarantee you that we're going to see Mika-chan on that neon, running it down, getting 1 or 2, just absolutely kind of crippling that other team. When he plays that neon, let's be honest, that neon agent is already pretty broken as is, especially in the current meta. But with the addition of that Odin, or even sometimes you'll see him run that judge, just running in there, you'll see him jumping through people and just nobody could hit him. But you highlighted something earlier, the kind of in the pregame about Dubes and being a senior. I mean, that's absolutely a performance you want to see out of your senior. Kind of his last ride into the sunset, wants to win that national championship before his time is up here at MSU, especially how much he has helped build this esports organization. Um, but yeah, we're really looking forward to that map 2 into that Haven. I almost want to say that we might be looking. No, it looks like they still play that Yoru Waylay, which I would still be surprised if they play it, considering those Yoru um, nerfs that we just saw with this TP. It's just not as strong on that Haven anymore. So I mean, it might just be a comfort thing, but I would be surprised if we saw that Haven or if we saw that. Oh, excuse me, I was reading the wrong comps. They also run the neon on the
Mm.
Haven, so we'll see a neon v neon matchup, and we probably will see Mika-chan just taking that matchup.
Yeah, a lot of interesting things waiting for us, especially at the agent selection. So when we get back from intermission onto Haven, we're in for a great map. I'm sure that's one of the stronger maps from UHSP. But yeah, we're gonna send it to a quick intermission. Go grab some water, go take a bathroom break, and be back for map 2 in a couple minutes. Welcome back, everyone, to this matchup in Division 3 Round 1 playoffs of NECC versus MSU Maroon Valorant and the University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy of St. Louis, Eutectics. We just wrapped up Map 1 on Binds, where MSU Esports took down the Eutectics 13-6 with a great performance from the likes of Mika-chan, Dubes, Rain, the likes. And it was a very exciting map and quite a dominant one for MSU Esports. Tell us about what happened there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you start on the attack half of Bind, you're kind of putting yourself in a good position. Bind not played, you won't see a lot of Sentinels on that map, so it's very easy on that attack side to kind of default like we saw both teams do a lot of, and gain the space and then just play off of that space. Haven, going into it, we will see probably a Sentinel here. We'll see a KJ out of the Eutectics, but honestly, with the plan there, as long as we're defaulting breaking that KJ turret, we should be completely fine in order to kind of get into that default setup and play our style of Valorant, which is very important to make sure we are putting those rounds together, putting the ults together, and ultimately winning this game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the compositions here. We can expect Mika-chan on the Neon here, running around with the Odin. Of course, Neon very great for executing sites, but also on those longer rotates through defender spawn, makes it easier to move around the stack, makes it easier to get more bodies on site, and is overall just great pressure added all around the map. It'll also be curious. I'm also curious to see if the Viper comes out from either of these teams. Viper, while at the start of Haven really wasn't meta, has quickly became meta in the past couple years now, with a lot of teams using that wall to lurk up A short and to create pressure on C sites with creative post plant or retake Viper walls. I believe Eutectics did run Viper in their last couple maps, but with the recent patch, it'll be interesting to see what they pick here.
Now, I don't see them straying away from that Viper into this Haven match. It's just kind of, I think, their bread and butter on this map with what they run. They run that solo duelist setup, which is very different from most of their other maps where you'll see kind of a double duelist uh, going into those site hits. Now, a little bit about MSU's Haven map. Now, we are one-on-one in this map. So they're not our best map, not our worst map, but we don't have too much to go off of, like I said, just being one-on-one. We're getting to the agent selections. It looks like Doob is playing with the idea of putting that KJ in. Now, normally they were running that Yoru, but I think those nerfs on that Yoru were very felt for this MSU Maroon team. And it looks like, I think, we have a mirror matchup. So it'll be very interesting to see how these two teams play. And now we are, I think, just trolling. I don't know what is going on now.
Yeah, Maroon being a bit tricky with their picks. Yeah, they'll default to what they know best. Mika-chan on the Neon, Jalen on that scan initiator, Bunga on the Omen as the primary controller. Dubes, he's been quite flexible in the recent weeks now after the Yoru nerf. Been playing around with the Teho on maps like Pearl, but with the Killjoy here on Haven, interesting to see how he fits into that Sentinel role, which I don't think we've really seen him on any other maps. On
I
the side of UHSP, the same exact comp, Sammy Bear, the Brimstone from last map, swapping over to the Viper, Yebi, the Yoru from Binds, going over to the Omen. Yushiki still on the entry role from Waylay to Neon, Ian on the initiator, and Ryu with the Killjoy. So mirror matchup here. Expect a lot of that Viper wall defaulting on A short, a lot of lurking with that wall, and overall a very slow crawling sort of default on the attack. But with that Neon able to mix in some tempo.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's going to be very interesting to see because these two teams are very different in their play styles. Just overall, I feel like we saw a lot more fast sight hits coming from this side of Eutectics. So it'll be interesting to see how they play this going into this 3-site map.
Yeah, I believe that Eutectics picked this map, and therefore MSU Maroon electing to go with the attack half first. I'm assuming that it's because it's their stronger half, but we'll see how it plays out here. Some teams electing to pick their strong half first, some wanting to keep their strong half for the second one, make a sort of a comeback. But yeah, that default A Viper wall coming in so that the Viper can lurk up A short, create that presence, not really allow the long info to come in. It looks like we have a mid fight going on here. Yeah, two walking out of garage, finding Mika-chan, hopping out of window. Dubes trades Ryu back, and the Eutectics quickly fall out of grass, take their one, lose one on the other end, and then falling back 4v4 as the map sort of restabilizes. Eutectics, though, not really sure of where MSU is, spotting one in grass. Playing very passively on the A site as well as B, and choosing to stack towards C, where currently Dubes is looking to walk up long. Might run into trouble here unless he touches Yebi. Faces 2, gets taken down by Yebi, and now MSU spotting 2, maybe even 3 on C, realize they have to pivot as they're going into A through the A B site. Ian all alone here. 1v3 situation. Huge shock dart gets Jalen taken down, and now it's a 2v3. Really low health though for Eutectics, almost balances out in terms of the health advantage. And Rain and Bunga, I mean, these two can do serious damage. I believe that all 3 of the Eutectics are one-shots to the body with the Sheriff, as the Neon walks into heaven now, playing still passive. They're not really taking any space quick, but now the taking in. Rain, 2 body shots, 2 kills, 2v1 now. Johnny there can't navigate the clutch, and MSU Esports takes the pistol rounds on this attack half of Haven.
Now, one thing that's very beautiful there from Bunga is that blind. Got a lot of value out of that. Allowed Rain to swing out, get those 2 picks. That blind was very pivotal in that retake. Timed, I mean, absolutely perfectly. One thing with that Omen blind is in the recent buffs, it gets sped up. So sometimes can catch players off guard, and you're also able to kind of play a little bit more into it and play a little bit faster. But we see a 4-1 setup, and them just leaving B completely uncontested. And it looks like we have Maroon going into a mid fight.
Yeah, Bulldogs here, wary of that huge stack coming out on the pistol. With their better weaponry, gonna play this one very slow, watch for any push-outs. Everybody, well, except for Dubes really, is sort of buddied up, making sure they can get the trades, not giving any guns away to the pistols, which can really allow the defense to snowball if they pick up any. And Sova drone coming in A long, and now you see, I believe that the Sova from Eutectics, here's the drone coming in, massive rotate, 3 rotating from C to A to sort of stack that site in preparation for a hit. However, the Bulldogs here aren't really planning on landing there as they walk most of their people up to C, looking to take C site from long. And currently they've got the read. I mean, there's nobody on the site. Killjoy is sort of playing backside, but really not looking into that position much. And he's literally taken down by a sliding Neon with the judge. You got a feel for Ryu there. I mean, not much he could really do. Dubes watching the flank to make sure that they're, that sort of, we saw a lot of that 3-person flank coming out on binds really, but this time they're aware of it.
Yeah, and it looks like the Eutectics are setting up just to data spike here. Actually, they're going to go for it. They're going to toss over some ult orbs. to the MSU Bulldogs, and they clean it up very easily with 3 going into that bonus round with 3 great guns, especially keeping that judge on Mika-chan, and allowing him to get active as that Neon. Strong buy coming in for the Eutectics, as we see kind of MSU Maroon just kind of collecting what they can going into this bonus round, and trying to set up for the next round, which would be round 4.
Yeah, Eutectics back with the strong buy on this 3rd round. MSU Esports able to keep 2 Guardians and a Judge, so they're looking to use those guns that they kept to their advantage. Mika-chan sprinting down a short with that Judge. Close quarters combat for him. Ian, though, gets the primary smoker for Maroon. Mika-chan, though, sneaks up behind. Not with the Odin this time, but with the Judge on the backstab. Gets 2. And now it's a 4v3. A site belongs to Maroon. And they've got guns aplenty now, from just a couple of Guardians to Judges and Vandals now.
Mika-chan goes and picks up those weapons, says, hey guys, I don't need this. I've got my Judge, I've got my Neon slide. I'll get another 2 for us here. I'm gonna sit in this corner. But yeah, absolutely beautiful round there by Mika-chan. Completely caught Eutectics off guard going back into that inside.
Mika-chan, he gets another close quarters with the Judge, as both players for Eutectics stuck in spawn, and Mika-chan gets 4.
Unbelievable.
Rain, another one too.
Unbelievable. Just, I mean, we highlighted Mika-chan's play throughout that whole round. I mean, that's the difference in just having an amazing Neon and a guy that's just has countless amounts of hours. And that puts the Eutectics down to a pistol buy. You'll see some sheriffs come out of them. Now, this could still be dangerous. You don't want to, just let your foot off the gas. We will see another mid-round opening here from MSU Esports and Eutectics going into kind of a 2-1-2 setup, kind of trying to get a feel on the round.
MSU Maroon here, they know that the eco is likely out for Eutectics and have to think forward to their ult economy here to try to snowball and take this lead into a dominant half. But right now, just grouping up towards A, Sova Drone clearing the A long space, using that Viper wall to their advantage to walk up A short, just playing a very slow default, not getting too aggressive, and really playing that information game, holding a lot of map space. You see they come back over to Garage. Now the question mark's created on A, and bodies spotted towards grass. UHSP really not sure where MSU is going to end here, and Dubes finds the Viper pick in Garage. But after that pick, instead of speeding up onto C site like one might expect, the Bulldogs walking back over to Mika-chan, who has lurked his way up short. 0 bodies on site, on A site for the Eutectics, and yeah, MSU going to enjoy the spoils of the free site and a 5v4 post plant situation with better guns against only sheriffs. And not much of a chance to get back into this round unless some crazy headshots come out. They send the blind though, sending the Neon slide, but I think he catches with Bunga actually with the response. Manages to keep alive from the flood out from spawn, who runs out of bullets. Still alive though, 5v2 now. Yeah, this round is just over for Still yet to find a kill and cleaned up from behind by Dubes. A dominant round against just sheriffs from MSU Esports, as the ult economy is starting to look even better, as Mika-chan has Neon ult online too.
Absolutely beautiful round. One thing I think they kind of overthought that round a little bit, as we get a little attack-to-bear shot here. Shout out Mon, that's for you, buddy. But yeah, we're looking into another strong buy round here for the Eutectics. Very interested to kind of see how they play this. It looks like Maroon is going back into what they know, which is that mid opening, but they're going to run into the 3 Eutectics here.
Yeah, UHSP fighting out with 3 in front of B. However, Mika-chan and Bunga getting 2 of them and evening things out into a 3v3. Quick fight out in grass, but now we see the round stabilize again. You gotta, with these 3v3 situations, low numbers and equal map control, the defense really starts to squirm and wonder about, where those lurks could be, who's walking up where. And so that's why we see UHSP fighting up grass again. However, Bunga with the side angle manages to take out Ian. They know about Yebi too. Quickly take him down off of another great Omen blind from Bunga. And now 3v1. MSU Esports just gonna group up here, take C site. They're gonna select to get the plant down on we'll see. It looks like they're giving it to Bunga, surprisingly, even though he already rolled. Bit of a mistake there from MSU. Now Ryu walking up on a timing. However, MSU is all flooded out of sights. Now just going to play the 3v1 from C long. Ryu good for one here. No quick trades coming out, but eventually taken down by Jalen. Nice try by Ryu, but that's another big buy round lost from the Eutectics. And now the Omen ults from the shadows online for MSU Esports 2, and another save coming out from UHSP.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised we're still seeing that Omen buy from Mika-chan here, considering this the worst weaponry coming out of Eutectics. Being able to slide in against a sheriff with a judge. I mean, I guess our economy's not in a bad state, so why not? But we see kind of a full C site hit going on with a Viper lurk, and it looks like we're just gonna run on in and see what we can do here.
Mika-chan, he's blinded and can stand, but with that DIV movement, they're able to escape for a little while, makes escape for a however, large numbers and the eco guns cleaning things up here on C site. A lot of esports not very cautious as usual, trying to up the tempo on the C, but they're quickly shut down as the eco looking to get things done, convert a 4v2 now. Rain and Zoobs, longtime buddies in the MSU Esports program, played together for a while. They're in a tough spot here. Spike left alone on C. No map control to themselves. No real threat of alert, but Rain quickly gets one on Yebi here. Another one on Ziki, and now it's a 1v1. Killjoy versus Killjoy here. Zoobs against the Sheriff with the Vandal. Knocks it down to 17 HP. Only 6 bullets left. He takes up the Odin and takes with the off angle, finds Zoobs. It was a great try by Rain and Zoobs to bring that to a 1v1. However, not able to convert, and that's a big eco round win for UHSP.
Yeah, definitely something they can work off of. And one thing that you'll see when when your team has a strong buy, it's a little bit more of a default. We'll see them kind of poke and prod around the map, but that time MSU Esports was just all in. We're going C, and you kind of saw the downside of really effective short-range weaponry from the Eutectics there.
Yeah, with that round win, though, the pressure is not off yet for UHSP. They are against a full buy, 5 ultimates. Quick short control taken by running away with that Odin, and the walk-up from A-Long coming out from UHSP. They have a Sova tucked close, playing off of their Viper. Yushiki able to find Bunga in short just off of a quick peek. Ian and yeah, that Sova not quite known about. Takes down one in their lobby. Mika-chan going for like the hero play finger guns onto a site. He's taken down, and the stack here out of UHSP was perfectly placed to take care of MSU's A default. I mean, they had all the numbers there. They fought together excellently. And now we're in a 2v5.
Absolutely. These last 2 rounds
side is under control.
These last 2 rounds almost looks like somebody gave Eutectics a book on how to play MSU Maroon around 6 and 7. I mean, just perfectly read with the C site and A site. I mean, just beautiful. Now, MSU Esports is able to get that plant down, but you can kind of see, kind of very similar to Bind, just that boa constrictor-esque collapse in. They're able to get 1 and 2, and they are cleaning it up, and then there's that trade-in from Samuel once again to close up the round.
And Rain and Dubs, another great try in the 2v5. Interesting idea to double stack into the garage. Ultimately, though, the 5 trumps the 2, and that's the second round in a row now for UHSP. Economy still looking strong for MSU Esports, for Ult Online for them, and it's looking to be another pivotal round here. This one, though, major economy implications as whichever team loses this, looking to maybe a save after.
Absolutely. And I want to see MSU Esports go back into that default look that they were showing off in those first couple rounds. It was doing them a lot of good, and they've kind of, I feel like, gone into this just like mindset of we can just outgun these guys, let's just run at them, which I think is kind of shooting them in the foot.
Rain, though, aggressive, peeks out in front of his Viper wall, manages to take down the Neon before getting traded by the Omen. 4v4 now, and the B space taken from MSU. They're all the way walked up through grass, setting up that Odin on the line. Silvadrone wisely going to re-clear the space, figure out that, hey, there's some bodies in the grass. Need to be careful of that. As they completely abandon A here, move the stack all the way to B and C site, double holding garage. They've got currently the read on what MSU wants to do, and it's looking, yeah, they look to try to commit here into C. Dudes lurking in front of B, hoping to find one caught rotating or just getting lazy on the site. 1v1 now, and Ian caught lacking there by Dubes. And now they're MSU Esports re-clearing A with the Silvadrone, slowing down the round again, figuring out what they want to do off of that pick.
And just a beautiful push and pull here from MSU Esports as they go into the C side hit. With that KJ util, Viper and Omen continue to kind of question if MSU Esports is still hitting C, and we have that plant go down. Now, the Eutectics have that KJ ultimate, which pretty much clears out all of site, forces MSU Esports back a good bit. But with the plant spot that they had, they should have no issues.
Yeah, lockdown shuts down the site. However, with the spike planted for long and the Odin also located, yeah, there is the Odin now cutting through, taking down the Viper's pit that was used by UHSP. Yebi on the Odin getting one, trying to stick that spider smoke. However, has to get off of it from the Odin spam. Wonder takes it down off the peak. And I mean, that is a costly rounds from the Eutectics, committing both the Killjoy lockdown and the Viper's pit, and not even taking that round. Still 3 alive at the end for MSU Maroon, who also have 3 ults for their own.
Absolutely. Now, going in that round, that's one of those ones you just want back. Mika-chan's Odin just made all the difference there in that post-plant scenario. Committing 2 very, very big defensive ults there, not getting any kind of anything out of it, is definitely going to shoot them in the foot. And we go into the next round, and kind of that same opening here from MSU Esports, kind of more of a defaulty look as Eutectics push in. They have a big Omen blind into the Neon Finger Gun, and the trades come through, and it is a 3v1 situation now. Rain is still able to get one, but you have both of Eutectics coming up on the flank.
UHSP so quick on that A fight out, managed to take down 4 before even 30 seconds past the rounds. Rain now with low ammo in the 1v2 faces the double hold by UHSP, and they take down the full buy rounds from MSU on their eco. Excellently done on the A fight.
Absolutely beautiful kind of setup there from the Eutectics. I mean, you can definitely tell they practiced that a lot and have set that up. I mean, very successful Neon ult, and when the trades came through, Eutectics came out on top.
Yeah, just a great crunch there, showing what happens when you let the defense push up into attacking space uncontested. And MSU now looking to see if they can take that A lobby space. Viper wall up, sending Mika-chan down into A short now.
And I think this is the first time that we're seeing 4 members of Mississippi State go A short, with some big question marks down long. I'm very interested to see how Eutectics play this here as we go in on that side hit.
Yeah, MSU Maroon, they find the empty site. However, UHSP responding with the Silva ultimate. taking 80 health off of Mikachan, but not finding the kill very quick on that Neon. And now the retake coming out from UHSP. Dube's getting caught out from behind. Sight still secure for now. Mikachan with the Odin back sight looking to cause some havoc for the players running out of the gets one, gets traded quickly. Bunga though, 2 kills with the Sheriff off of the team, well done by him, and then Jalen unable to find the 1v2. Ian still with the gun out, poised on top of the site, and that's the second rounds in a row. 4 out of the last 5 going the way of UHSP as momentum starting to slide back to their favor. At one point in this game, it was 5-0 in favor of Mississippi State.
And now we're getting into that MSU timeout by Bo. I mean, what a beautiful retake there by the Eutectics. I mean, just saving up that utility, that way they're able to get on site. Bunga almost with that round save. If he was able to get one more and get out, you know, that round looks a lot different, but great trigger discipline from him. One thing I do want to see out of MSU esports here is that default a little bit more. I feel like without breaking that C turret, they're really allowing the Eutectics to kind of play a little bit more, shift to that B and A site, and we keep ending on that A site with the you know, the stack over there. So not breaking that turret is really kind of costly for MSU esports on their attack.
Yeah, it's Bo here trying to address the problems that MSU have been having in these last few rounds. We're probably going to see a new look from them here, maybe some more tempo, maybe even more slowed down, but regardless, MSU throwing that same attack Viper Wall here, and I believe we have another buy round here coming out of MSU. I'm not sure what their economy is looking like right now, but
yeah, we do see a buy round come out. Now, one thing I did want to highlight real quick, that was a save round for MSU esports. So all in all, pretty successful round. I think if we have a little bit more of a gun advantage, we see a little bit stronger setup. Now we do see a different setup from their KJ on that A site, but we are fighting that C long space and kind of no one comes out on top there. Everyone kind of a little bit of util exchange, and we're gonna go our separate ways. But with that change up on KJ on A, you know, we can see
they swap the KJ over to A and then fight out C, kind of just mirroring what they've been doing in previous rounds. Mississippi State though, droning to re-clear the A space, creating some pressure A long now as the Killjoy is just playing off of the sound info A shorts. And yeah, Killjoy obviously calling for the rotates to come in, thinking that there's going to be an A site commit. And Dubes over on C finds a pick from Garage. And now, Eutectics, they walk down A short, finds the Viper. Likely thinking it's a lurk, they start to rotate off. You gotta imagine Mikachan is calling for the rotate back to A at this point. Instead though, he looks to walk up, he shoots the Killjoy alarm bot and falls back. Eutectics really not sure what's going on around this map right now. MSU esports also looking a bit indecisive, but they figure out C's open, C site. And now the fast blood coming out from UHSP. Leon gets one. 3 taken down, all in quick suspension. And left in the 1v4, can't make it happen. That was a great flood retake out of UHSP. They figured out that the A take wasn't happening off of that aggressive re-clear A short. Moved the stack over to C, and all 4 members are ready for that quick retake.
Absolutely, and you can kind of see the wheels turning there by USHP. Moving that KJ over, you can almost feel like their coach in that timeout said, hey, let's flip that KJ over there. I feel like they're going to open C, and we're just going to read them like a book like we've been doing these last few rounds. So we'll probably see kind of what I was saying with that intention to break that KJ utility to create that question mark, and then playing off of that. Just depends on how fast they're able to do that here.
Yeah,
looks like we're doing it fast.
Out from Maroons. Yeah, they take the quick A short space. Gonna break the Killjoy turret now, create some pressure. Rotates coming out, and yeah, the Killjoy lockdown going in A short. It looks to be a fake though coming out from MSU esports though. They're quickly abandoning A, speeding up onto B. The Eutectics though, they've got a clue as to what's going on here. haven't rotated off of C Garage or C Site yet. And now the Viper's Pit coming down on B, looking to play gritty in that Viper's Pit with some judges and specters themselves. Spike slowly making his way on the site. Mikachan now with an Odin. Navigating his way through the pit. Eutectics being really cautious, trying to figure out the right time to fully commit into this pit. Not wanting to take too much damage before making contact inside of the pit. Coming out, the fight coming out the grass. Dude's holding down window. Yushiki runs up on him, but he gets taken down by the stun Doom. That pit completely dominating the pit. However, gets two. Bunga, though, able to trade him out. And yeah, we see the big ults coming out. The Viper's Pit going down. And Doob's able to keep the backs of his team secure in grass, holding down window. Excellent rounds there off of the pivot, off of that fake from the lockdown.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful round. You saw them pivot into that B site. With that weaker utility, dropping that Viper's Pit allows MSU Esports' lighter weaponry to become a lot more dangerous in those tight spaces, especially not having to get as much damage done because that enemy's health is decayed a good bit. Now we see a little bit of change up from Viper to Viper on this defensive side. You'll see a C wall going into that mid space, which really allows MSU Esports to kind of attack B, but we'll see them walk down mid here and see what they can make happen.
MSU aggressing up on the C. Blind versus Blinds. Yebi knocks down to weak health. MSU not giving up on that kill. They want to find Yebi here. They know he's low, and he's alone, and Bunga able to find him. Nobody there to trade him, and now MSU getting the information that, yeah, they're committing to A. Galen just holding safe and sounds, knows that he's in a 5v4 situation, doesn't have to aggress too much. And Eutectics, I mean, you look at them, they're nervous of the flank coming out from the members they heard on the C. Alarmbot, though, to keep the info for now. But all five of MSU Esports flooding into that site. Dudes gets one in CT. Rain taken down Heaven. Mikachan gets another. Ryu isolates Jalen. 1v2 now for Bunga. Gets the headshot onto Ryu. 1v1 now. Full health against a half health opponent. Only 6 bullets left. Spike down. Guard comes in. Great play with utility from Ian on the low time. Knows he doesn't have enough to push out or really stick the spike there. Really close round in the end there on that retake.
Absolutely, and the biggest kill there was that kill on Heaven. I don't know who got that or who died, but that kill coming in, getting that guy rotating in from Heaven really kind of stalled out that MSU Esports retake, and also gave the equal man advantage back to the Eutectics, allowing them to kind of play their game and play that time.
And now the game's 6-7. MSU Esports only with a 1-round lead, and on the pistols here. You gotta imagine the Bulldogs are... Actually, they have a Bucky in garage on Mikachan. They know he's a master at Neon and of the shotguns, so no surprise they have him on that, as he's getting a lot of info into grab. Yebi, though, finds out where he is. 2 shotgun shots ring out from Mikachan. It gets 2 players relatively weak, but gets taken down. 4v5 now. C-site commit coming. Effective. They find out Bunga backside. Yeah, shotgun to the face. Taken out, and that's a round cleanup from Eutectics. 3 players alive, losing 2 armors though. It's a costly anti-eco rounds. MSU Esports probably pretty happy with that one right there.
Yeah, great eco round. I mean, your goal there in the eco round is just to get a few guns out of them. Ideally, you want to get about 2 or 3 out, but kind of exactly what their game plan was there. Send Mikachan down mid, let him cause a little chaos, a little bit of damage to see what we can get out of it. We're getting to the first buy round for both teams on this half. Looking to see kind of how MSU Esports responds. I would really like to see them use that Viper wall a little bit more down that mid area.
Game score all equal now at 7-7. Yushiki finds the first pick on Doobs, who was looking to take a fight to Garage. He didn't get the support he needed, but he's traded out with some spam. That Odin in garage is such a menace. And now the Viper walks up onto A. He's looking for a little pick on someone anchoring short. He's probably telling his team, hey, look at me. I'm walked up all the way there. Jalen has a Viper right under his nose that he's not aware of. Bunga almost caught off guard. Jalen, though, unknown about in heaven, takes down the Viper, and now Eutectics realizing, okay, maybe the A site's reinforced more than we thought, gonna fall back. 3v4. Ian, though, on the lurk into the front B, finds Rain. This map is completely just scattered around. Nikachon sliding Odin gets Teppy quickly traded by Ian, though. Great shots from him through the wall. You gotta wonder if Nikachon was due for more there. Bunga, aware of this window presence, takes down Ian, playing off of the drone sound timing. 2v1, they know where Ryu is on site. Just gonna play this together, but Ryu gets both with the headshots. That Phantom spray down, and what a round for him to win against the MSU buy.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful round there for the attack side. Really pushed and pulled. I mean, you can't really ask for a better kind of round, especially since it was the first buy round for both. Now we do see a little bit of a mess up on that Viper wall there that they just threw. We'll see if, I doubt they use that to go B, but could be, you know, pivotal late round. One thing, what a sneaky little play there by that Viper, getting all the way into A side, almost getting a free pick on Bunga. As we see them set up in a 4-0 or 4-1 more like on their attack, and a little bit of pressure down garage, but we see just a full C side hit here.
And sheriffs and shotguns on the side of the Bulldogs here. Rain gets found after walking down B grass. And 4v5 retake now. You gotta imagine MSU Esports are just playing for exits here. Don't really have much of a chance, but that being said, Neon hit down the weaker health. Sammy Bear, though, on that late sort of lurk in grass, finds 2, and now it's only a 2v5 remaining for Dubes and for Jalen here. Walking around in the grass, trying to find some picks, and this will be the 9th round on the board for Eutectics.
They get that pick there on the Sammy Bear, but now looks like we're just going to die to spikes, not wanting to give them any more ult pips. I mean, what a great round there by Sammy Bear. Great late lurk. It actually looks like we're going to save the gun and get out of there, which is also a great idea. But great lurk there from Sammy Bear. Continues to be kind of that rock for this Eutectics team. I was about to say we should be seeing a timeout come in from Bo to kind of fix this defensive setup. What's something that you're looking to see out of MSU Esports after this timeout?
Yeah, what MSU Esports, they've struggled to deal with the tempo changes out of Eutectics. A lot of those fast hits sort of catching a lot of our side anchors off guards. And I feel like another problem we've had is our early fights getting punished here. You've seen Rain a couple times fighting into B grass or A sites getting shut down quickly, and Dubes in just a couple rounds ago getting taken out in garage. Probably getting his team to be, you know, more solid with their aggressive fights here on the defense. You know, playing together and playing off of each other's util, but also making sure we're taking aggressive map space on a 3-site map. You know, the attackers have so much opportunity to work with all the lanes they have open to them. So the defense really needs to shut down some of these lanes and play aggressive on the defense.
Beautiful breakdown. That was absolutely tremendous. So we'll see MSU Esports kind of open up on that A side again. Looks like we're in a 1-1-3, and I think MSU is on another eco buy. Now, like I was saying, I wish we could see a little bit more walk down on that B with that Viper wall. I feel like we're not using that as effectively as possible. But we see a strong A site opening here for the Eutectics, as Mikachan has just willed his way up into that A space, and then Yushiki shuts down that A play.
Yeah,
Bunga gets a strong trade.
Mikachan whipped through on the short crowd. With the headshot onto Ryu too. Bunga trading it out. Oh, but he's gonna get caught out here by Sammy Bear. You gotta wonder what Bunga saw there. I guess in a 3v1 situation, just trying to take some space. But yeah, the A fight was very successful off of the two A long players, bringing it now to a 2v1. Rain and Dubes, that duo we've seen all together throughout this map, just scoping around for info, waiting for that, waiting for the Viper to reveal something. They hear the plant coming down on C. Double flank, and Sammy Bear in the 1v2 decides, I'm going to drop this Viper's Pit, and I'm going to win this round for my team here.
And absolutely, and this is the guy that you want in this scenario. Has been absolutely cold-blooded all night. We'll see if he can continue that trend. Sammy Bear looks like he goes to tuck onto Plat. I don't know if MSU Esports read this. Definitely don't read this. But we have that Viper wall. We're going to lurk up. He sees one. Doesn't get it. Falls back.
He's forced out of his own Viper's Pit here. Gets the 1v1 versus Rain, but Rain takes him down. A bit of arrow horn from Dubes. That's a big 2v1 to convert. Even with the Viper's Pit, you gotta feel that Sammy Bear had a solid chance at that one, but unable to win the 1v3. Great response off of that timeout from Maroon there. And yeah, excellently done from the team and the coaching staff.
Absolutely. Kind of reeling this game back in a little bit. One thing I wanted to highlight was Bunga. I think he was just trying to get out of that KJ ulti. I don't think he saw anything special. Just didn't want to get detained and locked up. But yeah, great play there. Really smart for Rain and Dubes. Just kind of, we're going to huddle up. We're going to get our trades. We trust each other. We've been playing with each other for so long. And it looks like we see that same opening here out of the Eutectics.
Yeah, one of the arguably the most important part of this map is that A lobby space. Being able to control that dictates sort of how you move around on the attack and how the defense has to respond here. And yeah, with the A lobby space, Bulldogs, 3 of them stacked onto A, making sure that they're ready for a quick hit. Now, sending out the recon zone. Looks like they're going to try to re-clear that A long space. From the shadows coming out from Bunga over to C platform. I guess they didn't believe in the A presence, but with 4 Eutectics stacked over towards A, walking up, looks like they're ready for a hit here. Jalen, a slow member CT, gonna take a few shots and dig out, play for the retake. Rain, however, with the spray, I believe that was, just takes the fight onto the Omen. A gets a kill, shotguns coming in, but not finding anything. 4v5 retake now. 5 defenders to try to take out the 4 members on site here. Viper Orb doing a lot of damage. Ryu taking down the Neon ult, Rain trading him out, and then Rain getting taken himself. Dubes though gets the Neon here. Only 1 member remaining. Sova A long. No recons art left. 3v1. No real way to stall this. Bunga gets the final shot on him, and that's an even. MSU Esports able to even out the score at 9-9. Excellent retake there. You felt they seem to feel so confident in their ability to retake there, even without any big ults being committed. Great round there for them.
Absolutely, and this is another pivotal round. You kind of saw in the beginning of this map, MSU Esports going that 5-0 run, and then the Eutectics kind of figure out what they're doing in the round, and I think we're kind of seeing that out of MSU Esports. So it's very interesting to see what the Eutectics do here to kind of create, the fog of war during these rounds, because I feel like they're kind of letting the foot off the gas a little bit. MSU Esports completely thinking they're going to do the same opening on A, and the Eutectics are just going into a little bit of a garage hit here.
Yeah, Eutectics with that grass space finds the Killjoy setup, takes down that turret. That's a lot of info lost for the Bulldogs here, as you see now Dubes deciding to take that fight into garage. The aggressive re-clear pays off, and now off of Dubes being able to take the Vipers or the garage space, Rain on the Viper rotates over to A. However, Sammy Bear's walked up, gets a shot in the back of Bunga's head on that lurk, gets another backside onto Rain. With that lurk, the rotates come out from the Bulldogs. Sammy Bear with a 3rd on A. I mean, he just tore that side
What a beautiful lurk.
Solo. And now a 1v5. Even with that lurk, Eutectics just commit to C site. They've got it for free. And I mean, wow, that lurk just able to ruin the defensive setup of the Bulldogs. and pretty much solo-handedly gets the round win.
Absolutely beautiful lurk. I love seeing great lurks from great players, and Sammy Bear did exactly that. Just walked up A long after MSU Esports cleared it out, and just like, you know what, guys? I don't need y'all to look at me when I shoot y'all. I'm gonna shoot all three, or shot Bung in the back, and then got 2 great kills. So interesting to see how MSU Esports plays around that lurk moving forward. I think that's the second time. First time didn't get that much value out of it, but now we see MSU Esports knocked down to an eco round, which could be very pivotal, considering this could put the Eutectics up into that 11th round, and only needing 2 more to win the map.
Yeah, big ults online for the Bulldogs. However, not really as big. Nika-chan found out on that aggressive push into A lobby, and Dubes on another aggressive push found out on Rain, going for a bit of a trigger discipline, manages to get one traded out by Yebi, and that's a free site, and Eutectics seem to know it on C. 4v2 now, not really an over rounds, but Bulldogs here with just Bunga and Jalen left. Gonna have to pull something magical with the Sheriffs to bring this round back, or else Eutectics are gonna get up to their 11th round with big ults online too. And that's honestly what I'm thinking is gonna be the decider for the rest of this map is the ult usage. You know, we've got 2 Viper's Pits online, a lockdown for MSU Esports. This round is just about over, but a lot still left to be played and a lot of pivotal moments to come.
Absolutely. And they kind of, Mika-chan kind of full win on that A-long fight and paid the price for it, not getting, anyone, no picks, no nothing, but kind of, I don't know if it was more of an info death plan, and Bunga's able to get one, bring that KD up, gets 2, but, takes 2 guns out of their hands at the end of the day. The Eutectics economy is so strong that won't really make a difference. Now we get into 2 big full buy rounds for this game, and like you were saying, ulti-wise, we look at a kind of a more of a strong ult economy for the MSU Esports with the Sova, Viper, and KJ on this defense, able to stall out and kind of choke the Eutectics attack side.
Yeah, Bulldogs here changing up their style. They're gonna face grass here with Rain and however, Ian holding steady finds Nika-chan. The window swing comes out. Rain's taken down. That's a 3v5 now with pretty much nothing to show for it from the side of Maroon. And now, no map control. All of their defenders playing quite passively because of just how they got shredded on that push out. Eutectics wasting no time to take these sides. They were now on back site. It's taken down by Ryu. I mean,
and this is going to force MSU into a save. I mean, the Eutectics on this attack half have just been dominant, which is something that we assumed coming into this. Obviously you don't pick a map that you're not familiar with. And this map for the Eutectics being 3-1, I mean, like I said, just absolute dominance on this attack half. Looking into the next round, because this one is all but wrapped up, we see, like we were saying before, 3 big ultis coming into this, and possibly, depending if they kind of serve up any kills on a silver platter here for Bunga, possibly a 4th. But the Eutectics coming in with a flawless 3 big ults should have no problem closing this map down. Bunga gets a little pick there.
With the better economy, they know they can afford to hunt these guns. Ian takes one gun away, the Heavy takes away the other, and now on map point for the Eutectics, MSU Esports, only 1 or 2 rifles probably coming out for them. They've got good ultimates, but this weaponry is going to make it an issue to try to convert this round. And yeah, Eutectics showing a lot of comfort on this attack half, looking like they know how to navigate this map really well.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful attack half. Now, this could be still very pivotal, considering if MSU Esports can have a strong ult, setup. But not seeing really too much out of MSU Esports as far as an ult setup. No early Viper's Pit, nothing, really set up. They're going to go and break that KJ lurk utility. Mika-chan is just saying, I'm going to sit right here. I'm going to get us 2. I'm going to at least get us 2.
And Mika-chan posted up close with the judge. Eutectics, they know that something's up. They commit the drone and the recon dart to clear out that C long space. It proves to be effective as Mika-chan has to fall back. That lane now with the Viper's pit onto B, sitting in there with the judge. You know, Eutectics really would not like to walk into that pit as they look to take some space in garage. With the judge, finds one, finds two, sees two more. That's great info gained from MSU. They know 2 out of 3 of the players are towards this side in garage. Jalen, though, off the Viper's wall, can't get another kill. It's a 3v3 now, and I think there's 2 shotguns,
30 seconds left.
1 shotgun and 2 rifles on this retake here. Viper's pit goes down.
You should run.
Lockdown goes down too. Counter
Lockdown
lockdown.
for lockdown.
Yeah, will be put down by Dubes. This round is gonna get interesting here.
Decides to play into the
out
lockdown,
of
break it
garage.
down.
One enemy remaining.
Lockdown, it gets no detain, but they've got to be aware of this quarterback here. Sammy Bear's still back there. And the Viper's pit. Rain gets the headshot through the smoke, and that's a big, I mean, saves that point with that lockdown there and that kill. That was a close round, man. Jeez.
Great play there by Sammy Bear. I mean, maybe a sliver of enough room for him to sit in at, in the very edge of the corner. You can see that ping there by MSU Esports. They should have, I feel like, known that guy was just sitting in there. I felt like Bunga had an idea going in there to clear, just wasn't able to get that pig, with the worst weaponry. Into a bit of a, all right buy. We all have rifles, a little bit of light shields. We still have that Sova ult and that Omen ult that we can use for information, but still very strong ults on this side of Eutectics.
Yeah, that ult cycle proved to be fruitful there. Almost was with that last round, and then 2 pivotal ults online this round as well. All 5 of Eutectics grouped up A here. But a lot of this info is being relayed over to the Bulldogs here. They managed to get 4 bodies onto this A-side. Yushiki gets Mika-chan, but traded out by Bunga, and now Eutectics, realizing how many members are here from the Bulldogs, decide to rotate out, send in the From the Shadows to C Long for him to take that space, and MSU Esports not really knowing where that TP was, if it was in spawn, if it was to site, garage. They've just got to play back, wait for that plant sound to come down, and gear up for a retake.
Absolutely. I mean, see that plant coming in. We have 2 Sova ults
planted.
still on the board, so that is a very strong post-plant setup, and it looks like that's exactly what they're going here for. Eutectics.
Yeah, they send it Sova back on the C long, but now they want to play for that ult. Bunga's from the shadows, shut down back sides, gets info, but not really able to get much else. Yebi gets the cube. Sammy Bear takes down Bunga, and that is map 2 concluded. Haven goes the way of UHSP Eutectics. 13-10, a close map, and we've got a map 3 on our hands.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely beautiful round there, or beautiful map, excuse me, from the Eutectics. You can see why they picked in that map, why they knew it was their bread and butter. I felt like MSU Esports left a lot on the table there on their attack half, not really playing into their style. I felt like they kind of forced a little bit too much. Mika-chan kind of was let off the leash a little bit too far. But very interesting to see where they go into the Abyss map.
Yeah, Abyss is the last map, a map that has been rotated out of the map pool in the most recent patch, but teams are still making sure they're staying practiced on that map and have their ideas solid. It'll be interesting to see what comes out. Not really a strong Viper map, which is what we've seen. I think we've seen both teams pick Viper on the past 2 maps. So interesting to see what we got there. And yeah, I mean, this series, aside from that map 1, it could hardly be any closer than it is right now, all coming down to map 3 in this playoff matchup.
Absolutely. Now, this is the map that we haven't seen out of the Eutectics yet. They're 0-0 on this map. But they normally play the Jet, KO, Sova, Astra Chamber comp, which is very interesting. It's a very meta comp. Double Initiator allows for a lot of pivots throughout the map, and that Chamber allows them to really kind of shut down that mid presence. So we'll see a lot of that into this next map. Um, we'll probably see more of the same out of MSU Esports with the neon. I believe maybe they run an Astro. I don't remember off the top of my head. But this is a very strong map for MSU Esports as well. 2-0 on this map, so we're looking forward to this one.
Yeah, Jalen, who's the strong scan initiator player for MSU Esports, he tends to flex on that Astra for maps like Pearl, I believe, also on Abyss here. So we'll see what he decides to bring out. I think they've played Teo some in the past, so yeah, a lot unknown here, especially with UHSP having not played this map this season. Interesting how they elect to bring it out in one of the last few matches where it's even in the map pool. So yeah, it'll be really interesting. I expect a close map 3 here.
Absolutely. Well, guys, you had your appetizer, we had your entree. Now it's time to go get some dessert. Go get a cupcake, go get something, get your popcorn back out. We're gonna go back to map 3 when we get back.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to round one of NECC Division 3 playoffs versus MSU Maroon Esports versus the UHSP Eutectics. Maps 1 and 2, I mean, they were hectic maps there. A lot of Viper play, a lot of quick duelist action, a lot of tempo coming out from both teams. And ultimately, we're coming down to a map 3 on Abyss. Tell us about some of the stuff you've seen this matchup.
I mean, you kind of summed it up perfectly. A lot of for like defaults into just chaos hits. A lot of trickery throughout the maps. I think we can definitely say that MSU won bind very handedly. The score on Haven kind of paints a different story, but I think we all know that Eutectics just dominated on that attack half, and even on the defense half, they definitely pieced it together later. Now we get into the Abyss agent selects, um, and it looks like we're getting a harbor, which is
I mean,
absolutely beautiful.
you guys might not know me, but I have been Harbor's #1 believer since he got since he got reworked, into having that refreshable orb smoke and that wall. I think he's great on this map. I don't know if Dubes is being earnest with us completely here, but he locks it in. And
Amazing.
yeah, I'm a big fan of this. I'm a big fan of the Harbor on Abyss. That wall is just so oppressive, and with the way his smokes slow down the opponents makes it so hard to flood retake or to like take map control when that smoke is in your face. So I'm a huge fan of the selection. We see another interesting pick is Rain, who is typically, on that controller Viper Omen type of role. He's now on that Waylay. Of course, Waylay, one of the strongest agents in the current meta, the way that Saturate just takes up so much space, able to shut down so much aggression from the opposing team. But yeah, Rain, I don't think we've seen him on any duelist actions. It'll
Absolutely
be really
not.
interesting to see this.
So with the switch up in the metas, they decided to put Rain on a few duelist roles, specifically on Abyss. So very interested to see kind of how they play this with that Harbor Wall more instead of the Viper Wall. It'll slow their enemy. It'll slow down the Eutectics coming in on the retake or trying to gain space on their attack. Now we have MSU going on the attack side and the Eutectics getting on that defense side first. Now, Abyss is a very even-sided map. I feel like it definitely does favor the MSU style of gameplay, but one definitely big X factor on this map is the chamber and how much value he can get out of his kit, especially on
Yeah.
that B site.
Yeah, Mississippi State. They take map 1 of Bind. That was their pick. Eutectics respond with their map pick of Haven, taking that one. But this is map 3. This is the decider here. Neither team's strong suit, so I expect a close one here in map 3. Exciting game in the first round of playoffs here. Now, Eutectics walking down mid here, I believe 4 members strong. Dude's with that jump peak, gonna find out that he sees at least 3. And MSU Esports wasting no time to respond here, quickly dashing in. Nikochan getting the plant down, Dog coming in back sight. And yeah, Smokey Bear posts up in heaven, gets Nikochan going aggressive, falls back to Bunga, straight out that pick. Gets taken down again by Sammy Bear. Jalen left all alone on that sort of lurk roll. Maintains that backspace. 4v1 now. Spike getting defused. There's nothing really to do at this point. Easy pistol round win. And yeah, that hit coming in from MSU, it was effective in taking the site, but the way they managed to they overextended themselves, I think, to heaven there, got shut down really fast.
Absolutely. And one thing with that Harbor on that post plant, you can't be the first one to die or die early at all. You need to make sure you get your wall up, and that way you're able to protect the space. Harbor smokes, I believe, are some of the longest in the game, so a very strong agent on that controller side. You'll see one smoke that also has a shield, and once you break that shield, that smoke goes down. So it could be pivotal late rounds.
Yeah, now we have the full save coming out from the Bulldogs here. Abyss is one of the trickier maps because, on those saves, a lot of times you elect to drop off the map entirely, but Bulldogs here looking to play around. He gets 2 headshots. with the Marshall, you see why they put them on that. Not known as really a sniper player, but Mika-chan sort of the master at these eco guns or these strange novel guns. And now walking up, trying to secure the extra weapons for his team. And Yushiki not trying to get too dangerous, peeking out that smoke. They just have to let the Bulldogs take that mid space, allow them to retrieve some guns. And now we have a really interesting round here where MSU Esports, they've got guns to their advantage and the man advantage at this point.
Absolutely. Now, the Eutectics are reading into this a good bit, funneling more people to B and leaving A kind of wide open. As we see, I believe a B hit will be coming in shortly. Dubes is playing around with the idea of tossing this smoke. I think they're waiting for a certain time to hit. Like you said, this gun advantage is very favorable for the MSU Bulldogs. As Mika-chan slides in, Sammy Bear continues his reign of dominance on these servers.
It disconnected. Bunga, though, off the KO flash, gets one kill. He's got to stick this plant no matter what right now. He's alone back to site. Gets the plant down. Yushiki really weak on health. Managed to get that spike back down. Jalen, though, figures out it's fake. Dubes gets the kill, and with the low health, Jalen and Dubes cleaned it up. That's a huge eco win, and I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to Mika-chan for getting those two Marshall picks in mid. I mean, that busted the round wide open for the Bulldogs.
Absolutely beautiful round, and you'll see MSU Esports take a lot of mid control with this composition that they're running. With the flexibility of the Harbor instead of the Viper, you're able to throw that orb, like you said, like I was saying, shield it, and allow that mid space to be controlled on the attack side, which is so important because you're able to pivot back and forth from B to A. We've got MSU here opening up on the A side, all 5 of them. We are going for a strong A hit here.
Yeah, and they're really not trying to mess around much on the anti-eco. They've got the better. They're just going to commit to sight with all 5, not let anybody get staggered by the pistols here. And they've got all sight. They're just maintaining this sight control here, not pushing up into heaven like they did on pistol rounds, and holding that strong backside position. KO knife comes in, hits at least 2 now. 5v5. Always get really hectic here, but the better guns clearly favoring the Bulldogs here. Flash coming out from gets one bunker together, all 3 members flooding out. Just Yushiki on the front, gets taken down by Jalen. It's easy conversion there from MSU Esports. That simple approach, letting the 5v5 visa go their way. It's excellently done and worked flawlessly that round.
Absolutely, and you saw that Harbor wall finally kind of come up a little bit later in the round. Almost felt like Dupes forgot Harbor had a wall, and he's, I'm just going to throw my one smoke. But that Harbor wall finally came up, and it's very oppressive because when you're trying to swing through it, it slows down your momentum, which allows, the people on site just to get easy picks. Now we're kind of changing up the pace here. It looks like we're kind of going more into a default style with a 3, I don't even know if you can call this a 3-2 opening, but Eutectics open up strong there on A side.
A quick flash and dash play. MSU hearing that speed up on
Unreal.
Kind of mows down 2 with the Odin. I mean, that's what you get from this guy. Fast with the movement there and just takes down 2. Does overextend a little bit, get taken down by Ian, but he's already done enough to give this team the advantage. Dubes finds Yushiki on that long flank. I'm sure they weren't expecting him on that line at that point. And the wall coming in too. Hard task for Ian, and he can't make it happen. 4 members left alive for MSU Esports. I mean, just excellent way to burst onto that site with the neon on the Odin. And that's the 3rd rounds now in a row for MSU Esports.
Absolutely. I mean, just impeccable Odin spray, slide. It was beautiful. A little bit of an overextension there, kind of going into the defensive spawn, but you can kind of see MSU Esports is just gearing up for a strong mid hit here, and the Eutectics were beat back down into an eco round, I believe, and then we have Astro lurking over here.
Rain on the waylay, dashing up in the mid. Recon Dart scans so many of the Eutectics there, gives Rain an easy time on that mid space. Gets one, gets out with that waylay recall. Excellently done there. A lot of work put in with that recon, and now Eutectics is trying to re-clear some of that mid space, get the Silva drone in, spot no one, but really don't know where the Bulldogs are leaning at this point. But they've kind of got the stack in the right spot here. Asher and Sova on site for Eutectics here on A. This could get a bit dicey. 4 members on the A side. Ian gets one. Sheriff. Mika-chan slides in, takes the Asher down, the ult, and cleans up the rounds. Great round, great anti-eco again there from MSU Esports. It's not too clean, not too pretty, only 2 left alive, but that's a 4th in a row, and the momentum strongly in the Bulldogs' favor right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, MSU Esports opening up on this attack half, very similar to what they did on this Haven side as well. Now, one thing I do want to note, just for all the viewers watching, is in the last 2 maps, you've seen a lot of on-site plays after the attack team planted the spike. Now, on this map, with the comp that MSU Esports is running, you'll see them kind of run back to kind of where they came from. It's because their utility allows them to kind of play off and, have that ability. As we kind of have a strong mid opening, you see MSU Esports just kind of collapsing down mid, creating a bunch of question marks, fog of war throughout the map, and we're just going to leave Mika-chan here to let him do what he does with the Odin.
Yeah, and holding strong in their positions here. Jalen all the way deep back near spawn over towards the B side. We've seen him play a lot here on that Astra, just sitting back and playing in his astral form, putting stars down. And that's another thing you're going to get out of this double controller comp with that refreshable smoke on both Astra and on the harbor is a lot of dome smokes dropping in space, not allowing you to take the smoke on the defense side. Mika-chan throws in the wall and the stun over here on B. It's grabbed the attention of the Eutectics for sure now, but seeing that no other bodies have been committed over towards B, they rotate most of their players.
30 seconds left.
Dude's now throwing the harbor wall to sight. Waylay ult coming out. I believe that was Rain's Waylay ult, but hits most of his team there. Jalen able to get the Sova back sight. It's a 3v3 now in a really hectic spot. Low time. Yebi with the spam through the smoke on the planter. That's going to really put the Bulldogs in a tough spot. Bunga with another spray through the smoke. Bunga holding it.
Huge kill.
Back there, right there. Crate plays 2v1 now. Ryu sneaking down the rope. They don't really know his position, but both of them wise to it are hidden completely from him. I mean, he's got to be wondering where these guys went off to. He's just walking around trying to chase players, and nobody knows where anybody is at this point. Ryu gets the backstab on Bunga, clearly unaware of that timing there. Jalen just playing the time. Here's the footsteps coming in. Ryu off the spike. Jalen knows about it, but now Ryu, he has a good indication where he is, holding strong, but looks away, and Kalen swings at the perfect timing to find the kill. That's 5 in a row now for MSU Esports, and you got to start wondering if they're going to run away with this half.
I mean, absolutely beautiful. I will give some credit to the Eutectics there on that A side hit. With us, Waylay ulting our own team, it allowed them to get 2 or 3 picks. But Bunga kind of cleaning up the mess and allowing that plant to come down, getting that big kill on the Sova on the backside of A really allowed us to open up that. And then, I mean, them just playing merry-go-round with that chamber at the end was absolutely beautiful. MSU Esports opens up in a 1-4 setup here. Kind of, I feel like this is their default setup. And kind of, going to kind of push and prod the defense here.
Yeah, and Eutectics here on a safe round. They have Tour de Force to give them, some more firepower. However, the hits coming in on A, chamber nowhere near the site. Sova though getting the entry kill on the Waylay. Mika-chan getting up that rope with the Odin. I mean, you gotta wonder how that's even fair to be that accurate with an Odin on a rope. And now it's a 4v3 post plant. Jet Knives and Tour de Force are online for Eutectics. I mean, they just about have the good weaponry enough to make this happen. So once this wall goes down, it just smoke goes back in the face. Flash out. Sneaky with the knives gets taken out by the Odin. You gotta feel that. Oh, Mika-chan now onto the Force. Bunker takes him out. He steals the ace from Mika shot. I mean, Mika said he was spraying down the fifth right there. I mean, classic Bunker right there.
Absolutely classic Bunga. Bunga said, "Hey, I need to break even here. I'm gonna take that kill. You already had 11 of them. I'm gonna take one here." We have a timeout here from Eutectics, kind of looking at what MSU Esports doing that is so successful. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like MSU is just out shooting them right now. Don't get me wrong. Their calling has been absolutely fantastic, but there's just some situations where I'm sitting here watching this and MSU Esports is just shooting, which is great. I mean, we kind of saw that in map one. I kind of highlighted that. It just felt like in some very unwinnable situations, MSU was just winning them just because they had better weaponry. Or let me rephrase that, better aim. So looking in, after this timeout, I'm very interested to see the changes that the Eutectics make because I don't feel like they're playing incorrectly. I feel like, honestly, for the most part, they're playing really well. They're just MSU Esports is just shooting them down.
Yeah, and Rain, I mean, he's been calling a pretty simple game so far on this attack. It feels like most of the rounds we've seen just a pretty simple, take space mid or just a fast tempo hit onto A. And you got to wonder, I mean, he's on that entry duelist now. He's just telling his guys, hey, set me up here. I'm going to get in and make the space for y'all on this attack half. Pretty easy to call if that's what you're doing, not much mid rounding. And we'll see how things change up now. A sort of different setup here. Nobody really towards mid for the Eutectics. Just that trademark to spot out any info if the lurks good tempo. Odin sliding in, takes down the chamber, and the Sofa trying to support him in heaven, completely unable to with that harbor smoke in space, has to completely fall back. And we're in a 5v4 post plant. Sova ult, Astra ult, Harbor ult all online for the Bulldogs. I mean, this round, even though it's only a 5v4, all the time has passed, it feels completely in favor of the Bulldogs right now. Sova ult and Astra ult coming out on the defense. In response, Harbor ult comes in, Rain with a cheeky headshot onto the Jet. 4v2 now. Odin posted up backside. The two initiators taken down in the post plant. 7 in a row now for MSU Esports. The timeout clearly not effective enough to stop that fast retake coming out of the MSU Esports.
Absolutely. You can almost see that MSU Esports has put so much pressure towards A that they opened up. They opened up on that B side hit, and they had like you're saying, that trademark more towards mid. To be honest with you, that's not a very strong trademark when we're trying to get a lot of value out of the chamber, which I felt like, especially on this defensive half, was so important. MSU Esports is opening up with their just strong mid presence with the same dart, smokes, and just nobody on the Eutectics to kind of take that in. We'll see kind of how they fit from here.
This is a huge map, and so far the Bulldogs, they've been aware that on such a big map like Abyss, you got to make these long rotates that make it so hard to anchor down on sites and get support from your team. Eutectics, though, they're going to change things up a little bit. On the normal flash and dash, the Jet would normally fall back from a main, but he's going to hold this space, get his team a lot of info, and allow them to rotate over towards mid and B. Bulldogs here playing pretty slow now, just walking up and slowly taking this mid space here, but not committing too many people into mid. The time I mean, just finds the headshots to the wall there. Yushiki trying to fight to sort of equalize on this low buy, but unable to. 3v5. Mika-chan just taking all the space he wants, Odining kids down left and right, shredding this defense. Against the eco, I mean, this is
remaining.
An absolute beautiful round. Now, Eutectics were on an eco here, but with that being said, Bunga jumps off of the map. Beautiful, beautiful round. With that mid opening, allows them to gain so much space. And with the Eutectics composition, they only have that one Soba drone to kind of re-clear, and the only other option is we have to throw bodies there. And with the way MSU Esports is shooting right now, there's nothing that the Eutectics are doing that can stop this.
Bulldogs showing us right now, even though this map isn't in the current pool and getting phased out of NECC play, they haven't missed a beat. Eutectics, though, they've got 4 mid. They want to make something happen here, not just let themselves get executed on. They're going to walk out. Big flash coming out, but Dooms just through the smoke, sprays down the Sova. I mean, they're so aware of the timing Eutectics are going for. Eutectics with the finger guns gets 2 very weak, but is taken down. Now Rain looking to poke around. He's got the recall, gets out of 1, 3v3 now. He dashes back to his team, who have managed to make their way back into B connector to try to refight in the mid space. But now they look to fall back, maybe commit to his B site. They have created so many question marks around the map and have done so well to get to shut down that mid aggression. However, it's still a 3v3. Anything can happen up from here.
And it looks like they pulled those defenders over to that B site, which allowed that A site to be a little bit more open. But it looks like they're doubling back, which is interesting. Considering Bunga just missed his shock dart on that trademark, they still have that up with 20 seconds left. This could get dicey. We'll see what happens here. Now, Rye, you only had that 5 health after the fight with Rikichan down mid, and MSU is all in on this B side hit.
Only 10 seconds left. Ryu gets 1. That's the spike down. He's at 5 health. Rain able to trade him out. Only 5 seconds left. They will get the spike plant down in time. Yebi looking to try to deny that. Gets taken down by Rain on the waylay. And now 2 left on site. Rain finds the info that he's in nature. Commits the ult to try to stall him out. It misses though. Sammy Bear, he's in a spot they aren't expecting. Takes down Rain. Jalen though jumps up and gets taken down. Sammy Bear is so ice cold in these clutches.
Absolutely. He's been doing it all night. Anytime they call on his name, he is getting them clutches. 1v2s, 3v1s. It doesn't matter with this guy. He is just absolutely clutch.
Yeah, I mean, this Astra player on the controller, I think he's played 3 different agents tonight. He's been excellent on all of them, and he gives his team a shining bit of hope here on just this attack half for MSU Esports. I mean, the momentum, it's been in Bulldog's favor all half. Hopefully Maroon can continue to build that momentum into the defense though.
Absolutely. It looks like we're going into a straight B hit. Looks like MSU Maroon just wants to speed this up and go after it.
Back to that simple column, Yushiki off a great timing, picks off the Neon. Rain inserted B onto the site on that waylay. Smokes and crowding the place all over. So many kills. Yeah, that's a great hold on the B side from Eutectics. The Astra smokes causing so much mayhem, not allowing any space to be gained on that hit. And that's 2 in a row. Eutectics managed to bring back this half a little bit closer and maybe even could bring it to an 8-4.
Absolutely. I think kind of the mindset of MSU there was we're out shooting them, let's just run them down, which at this level of Valorant you can't just go, hey, we're out shooting them, let's run it down, because in that situation we just saw what happens. Utility dumped on you, and they just there wasn't anything they could do there in that situation to win that round. They just run it down. B doesn't always work. Now, it looks like both teams are assuming they're going to get aggressive, and neither teams are. It's kind of my favorite thing to see in Valorant when all teams are just holding angles at the start of the round, thinking, hey, maybe these guys are going to push out of a main, and no one does it. But we see a little 2-3 setup here from MSU Esports. Nothing mid, just really creating a lot of question marks as we see that Sova drone down mid to kind of clear up a little bit. That should enable that chamber to walk up a little bit or try to gain a little bit of more space, which we should see happen in the next few seconds.
This map has been all aggression versus aggression, and now we get a really slow, just longing round here. Interesting to see how this is going to play out. Both teams not giving the other space. Playing the Bulldogs here. Send in the wall, send in the dash. However, Yushiki gets 2 on the Bunga and Bunga and Nika-chan trying to take a timing on A side off of that fake hit. I mean, Eutectics just completely read that right there. Harbor coming in though, trying to maybe bring this map out. Dude gets deflated.
Player standing.
Another kill from Jalen. Super close, gets the kill on him, and then Sammy Bear takes down Jalen. 3 in a row. I mean, great composure out of Eutectics to bring back that half. 3 in a row to end it after an 8-round streak from MSU Esports, who couldn't quite run away with it. And now this game looks really interesting on this half.
Absolutely. Now, going into the defensive side of Pearl, I will say the attack half, as we just kind of saw, was very strong. We've seen a lot of strong attack halves over the last 2 games, and nothing I don't think will change here on this attack half for the Eutectics. One interesting thing I want to see is how they do play with the Harbor on the defensive side. It looks like we're setting up in a 3-0-2 setup here on the defensive side. We're going to walk a few guys down B, see what we can see, while the Eutectics open up with a 1-4-0, 1-3-1, excuse me. Nope, 1-4-0. Going down mid, very similar to what we saw MSU Esports do in a lot of the rounds.
Yeah, 4 members in mid for the Eutectics taking that space, but MSU pushing 3 out. They found out where the Astra is. Sammy Bear gets one, gets traded quickly from Bunga. That's down. Eutectics, though, they come out from mid, quickly responding, and they're going to speed up onto Dukes here on B. Dukes taking an early fight here, gets a smoke help from Jalen, gets off of sight. Great out there to help him out. Dubes, though, repeaks into the people, gets taken down. 2v4 now. Jalen gets one. He hears them pushing his fight. Flash to his face, gets taken down, and now finds one on site. Knows where all 3 members of Eutectics are, however, it's planted for heaven. I mean, wisely done there since they knew they were taking that space. And yeah, the wraparound from A gonna take Nika-chan down. And that's a pistol, and now we have only a 3-round lead for MSU Esports. This half is gonna be closer than what we thought.
Absolutely. The pistol round was very pivotal there, allowing the Eutectics to kind of gain some footing here on this attack half. If we see them target this mid space a lot, this game could get very interesting very fast. We should see the Eutectics gain another round here just with the better buy, but off of that first half, we don't, no telling what's going to happen here. Looks like MSU Esports is putting all of their chips here on A, and we're going to take some space and see what we can do with it as they leave Astra there by herself over on B.
MSU, they've got 4 on the flank here. Trademark's gonna find out one. They're not sure how many of them on the flank, so they're just gonna stick to their guns, execute on B. They find out where the Astra is on site. Jalen's just gonna fall off, let his team come from behind and get some pressure for him. He doesn't want to give the Eutectics that early kill. Makes that round much easier. Ryu gets a kill on the flank. 2 more flankers remain. Nika-chan manages to get one with the classic. 2 members of the Eutectics pushing into heaven, though. That's going to catch Jalen by surprise. As now we have 3 members spread out from MSU Esports, but Reyna Bunga gets a great right-click kill, rips the head off of Sammy Bear, but now he's in a 1v3. No gun, and all 3 members of Eutectics in straight at him. There's going to be round 6 on the board for Eutectics, who are going to bring this game within 2 rounds now. After, at one point, it was 8-1 in favor of MSU Esports. You gotta imagine there'll be a strong response here on the defensive half.
Yeah, absolutely. Going into this round, we have to see MSU Esports respond here. I mean, we've seen some great shooting from them, but on the defensive side, it feels like something's been lacking throughout the last few games. Luckily on Bind, they were able to build enough on the attack, and I think they did something similar here, to where when we get into these buy rounds, they'll be able to do something with it. But I'm still waiting to see that Harbor utility really make its impression on this game. It feels like Dubes has really just died before he's been able to throw it in situations. So I would like to see that Harbor util. But as we see a strong open here from the attackers here on this A side.
Yeah, 4 members of the Eutectics take all of the A main space, and Mika-chan, wow, just lights up Yushiki through the smoke, takes him down to like probably 10 HP. That's their entry duelist, their only duelist, down super weak. It's gonna be hard for him to make any space on this attack round. In fact, he drops a gun. I think it was
Up to Shorty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Still though, Eutectics lined up here for an A hit. 4 members just holding solid in a main, but taking the time. They're being very patient about this, and yeah, it's proving to be effective. We have Mika-chan baiting the rotate, but coming back quickly. Smoke coming in from the harbor. Sova versus Sova battle goes away to Eutectics. Mika-chan falls off of the map. Dubes though gets the trade. Dubes manages to get the jet taken down. 3v4 now. The chamber lurks in mid, surveying but not finding anything. Dubes slowly prodding here, looking for a 1v1 on the A sites before his team can arrive. Now all 3 members in security, ready to flood back sites. Takes an early fight with the Guardian, gets 1, gets 2. Jalen takes him out. Now 2 members of Eutectics in a main. Sova quickly joining them with the ultimate. This is a lost buy round for MSU. I mean, Jalen has no shot in this round with the solo. He's forced to save. And 7-8 now for UHSP. This game is getting dangerously close. And
yeah, absolutely.
You gotta feel like this needs to be a response from the Bulldogs here. I expect a timeout.
Almost feel it, yeah.
In the next 1 or 2 rounds. Yeah, it's
just very interesting. Like I was saying, I just feel like we're not getting any strong abilities out of the harbor. I noticed the last round that Dubes died with his wall. Just like there's so many pieces of our util that I feel like we're not using completely in order for us to secure post-plant scenarios or early round advantages. As Eutectics open up here on that B side, it looks like we're having just a strong B side hit. Kind of looks like they're saying, you know what, we have better weaponry, y'all don't, we're gonna run it, y'all figure it out. 2 double ults come in, jet dash and cut sight, and they just sit Jalen right down.
Yeah, great utility combo. The flash dash, as well as the Sova ult, just to ruin the Astra trying to anchor B site. Joey gets a great shot through the smoke. A bit lucky there, but we'll take anything we can get at this point. 4v4 retake. We see the harbor wall come in, touch 5 seconds of sight. The Bulldogs a lot of space. Bunga gets a kill on the arrow, but unable to find any more shots. It was a good try on the eco rounds, but 3 alive left for the Eutectics. They tie up Abyss. I mean, we thought this map was just about over, and yeah, Bo, he knows that the momentum is very solidly slid back into Eutectics' favor, and he's going to try to fix this defense half before to try to, win this decider map.
Yeah, one thing that the Eutectics are doing that is so strong is that mid opening. MSU Esports is kind of allowing them just to have mid. They haven't pushed past library, which is that little spot in the middle, to really use that space effectively. But I feel like MSU Esports in this timeout is probably going to say something like, we need to be fighting mid. We need that space, especially going into the post plants. I feel like they're a little bit worried about that chamber sitting down there at the bottom, but a simple smoke will, cut that off. So it'll be very interesting to see what the MSU Esports team does here following up this timeout by Bo. Very interesting.
Yeah, we've seen on this half that the anchor positions for the Bulldogs have just been getting pretty much annihilated on site execs, and you can't really blame them. There's not much they can do with the Sova and KO utility coming in overhead, Astra Stars at your feet. It's hard to anchor, and that's why I'm anticipating the aggression coming out from the defense here, as we get a Harbor smoke deep into mid. Harbor walking down, taking an early aggressive angle. And they're just playing a spread out default here, getting the early info on B, trying to fake some of that presence. And Maroon, they're rotating over towards B, but they're starting to not buy it. Mika-chan heading back early as Eutectics realize A site is completely free. Now, one thing I believe is an advantage of the Harbor is that that wall is so good on these retakes, and you have to imagine that if they can't use it effectively here, they're going to have a struggle forever when they get snap. Takes that early back, do the Astra stuff, gets a kill, stays alive for a little bit longer. Debbie, though, on the KO gets 2. Jalen sprays down 2 with the Phantom, and now the Harbor smoke with the shell that, with health, gets half onto the defuse. They're not unaware of the last player hitting the Astra wall. Jalen sitting on this wall, gets the shot, 4 on the round for Jalen, and he manages to, on that retake, take down 4, give the lead back to MSU Esports, not allowing Eutectics to take their first lead of the half. Great round from Jalen and a strong retake to bring them back into this game.
Oh, I mean, Jalen just picking himself up by the bootstrap saying, boys, jump in the backpack, I'm sending us home. I mean, great round by him, great idea with the Astra ult. You kind of want to see that in a little bit more of a power position, but you use that to kind of swing the momentum back in your favor. It'd be very interesting to see what the Eutectics do. It looks like we're opening up with a 5-man B with MSU with a strong side on the other side. So
yeah, UHSP, they're not playing around. They say, we're just going to use our tempo, use our utility, take B. Jalen, though, with that spray down through his smoke, rips the head off of the Sova. That's a good kill to get here because now it's just a 5v4. Bulldogs have hardly committed any utility at all. They have pretty much their full reserve to take this before this retake. Double wall going in. Jalen backside. Recons are coming in. Jalen and Mika-chan getting 2 kills of their own, and now only the Astra left to Nature in a 1v4. Mika-chan with the jump on him, lays him down with the Odin, and that's just a great round. And you see why they picked that Harbor there. That retake wall, so good at blocking the attackers, cutting off that site from the typical post plant positions you'll want to play. And that's sort of the round that you can expect to see on the fast, just straight execs. MSU had all the utility to use on that retake, and it worked brilliantly for them.
yeah, and now we see a timeout coming in from the Eutectics. Very kind of one of those situations where you got to use it or you lose it. So understand that. Well, as if I was their coach, I would have probably waited another round or another round to kind of see if there's something they could figure out. But it looks like MSU Esports is playing more into that retake style of Valorant, which with this composition is very strong as long as we're not using any crazy amounts of util at the start of each round. I mean, I think going to that post plant, we still had our Harbor Wall, 2 Sova Shock Darts, which got great value out of that KO playing in that hell position. But it'll be very interesting to see what the Eutectics do after this timeout, because I really feel like this attack half has been very strong for them. It's been very strong kind of all day. So it looks like we have some pings down mid for both teams. So we might be seeing a big mid fight here on the start of round 19.
I would not be surprised at a large brawl going on in mid as 3 of the Bulldogs are lined up to take that fight. And Eutectics, they've got members of their own waiting at the bottom of mid. Interesting to see how that plays out. Mika-chan on the extremity in the lobby has a large responsibility to hold down that spot. In the smoke, gets the kill off the recon dart, and the Eutectics is just too slow to shoot that dart. Get a free Bulldogs get a free kill, and it's a 5v4 now.
And Mika-chan posted up on this big A line here, allows MSU Esports to trust him, at least get one before they can start rotating as the Eutectics start going back into that mid space.
And the drone re-clear comes in through mid. They spot 1 or 2 players for the Eutectics. Sammy Bear on that Astralurk, walking up slowly. He might not realize how much he might be in with how many Bulldogs are here. Jalen, I mean, that spam, he's just
another beautiful spam.
So much touch on that spam, just locating players right where they are. But Sander, he's got the lurk up until this point. He's not really sure what he wants to do with it. He's calling his team back over to commit. But three Bulldogs here lined up. Might try to let him take. He gets a kill through that smoke. Waylay ult coming in. Rain gets taken down though by the Sova, and quickly a 5v4 situation is turned into 4v3 in favor of Eutectics. Astro Wall goes down, cuts off that site. It's going to make that retake super one-dimensional if they want to go for it quick. But also cuts off a lot of the information Eutectics had. Nikachan sliding out with the finger guns, gets taken down. And Jalen and Bungle cleaned up right after that. The wall proves to be effective. And 9 rounds on the board for the Eutectics. They're back within 1 round.
Yeah, very, very strong post plant there from Eutectics. One thing I think we missed there was Mika-chan getting that early line on A. Really should have allowed MSU Esports to play a little bit more on site during the side hit. I feel like they should have trusted on that line a little bit more. It looks like they're kind of planning on something similar and playing into it, but it looks like we're gonna have a little bit of a fight on A, hopefully. We haven't had any big opening fights, but I think we're about to get one.
Yeah, a lot of the early aggression has been relatively stifled or just hasn't brawled out as chaotically as we're used to. And now they're MSU walks Mika-chan into this aggressive position. They're gonna leave him here on that Odin line, and Eutectics, they're certainly aware of it. They're looking to try to re-clear this with a drone. Drone gets taken down, Mika-chan slides out there. Doesn't have to use the wall, but does have to use his slide to keep out. Only spots 1 though, so the rotates aren't quite yet coming in from the Bulldogs. Yeah, as Eutectics, they're just going to play this slow. They're not going to give any sound away to MSU Esports. There's already 4 members of MSU Esports lined up on B, anticipating a hit there, but they cannot be more wrong right now, as Eutectics are just sitting in A main, waiting for maybe some over-aggression to come out. Now. Great smoke timing, good kill early on for Mika-chan as he's just delaying this hit back sight. Gonna try to get the trade, doesn't. And 5v4, great positions from MSU Esports. Rain gets the kill with the help of Mika-chan on the Odin. 5v3 now. Harbor Wall coming in, stun lands on the death. Ryu gets 1 with the classic. Rain gets 2. How has he done that? Only now Sammy Bear left in heaven. He's been clutched all night, but it's hard to imagine he can get this one. Rain with the 4th. Marshall classic Odin. That's how Rain cleans up that round. And Thrifty on the board for the MSU Esports.
Big round there for MSU Esports, especially with that lower economy. I'm not sure where the economy sits. A little bit of a broken buy here, I think, for the Eutectics. Very pivotal round. This will really change pretty much the landscape of the last few. Here we're seeing a lot of value out of that harbor utility in the post plant, something that I'm very happy to see that's coming through, and I feel like has really changed the back half of this defensive half for MSU.
Early info, tempting fate right there. Doesn't get taken down by the Tour de Force. Managed to escape, but now he's in a rough position. No utility for him, no dash. Yushiki comes in and rips off the head of Mika-chan with the knives. That's one of the parts of this combat you get, is that you get the jet knives and the chamber Tour de Force and rounds like this. They pretty much have a full buy. But now Rain at a horrible spot of heavy smoke fade gets taken down by the Tour de Force. 3v5 now. The other wall coming in might help, but no, Yushiki with that Odin showing, hey, I can abuse this thing too. And just Jalen left, playing for some exits. Doesn't really have a chance at this one. That's a strong response there from Eutectics.
Yeah, very strong round. Just kind of one of those kind of all-in plays on A. It looks like they're going to clean up this last kill here on Jalen with the Astra lurking up in the mid. Going into a 10-11 game here, really anyone's at this point. Really, can MSU continue the retakes and keep them as strong as they have? And we see a timeout coming in from Bo. Kind of resetting the boys' mentals more than likely. I can't think of too much, that'll change. They're going to probably continue to play this same retake play style. Um, Probably, try to catch a little bit more of that aggression. Um, yeah.
Yeah, that last round, the fast hit came in, and I think if it weren't for Mika-chan and Rain getting caught out, they would have had a great chance of that retake. But, um, the gunpowder coming out from Eutectics takes them to down, cleans up that rounds. Now it's interesting to see. There's only a couple rounds left before potentially overtime, so it makes sense for MSU to use this timeout. Interesting to see what their adjustment is, if they try to fight out anywhere. I expect they're gonna be a bit more passive, really, just playing for info, not really playing for any early brawls.
As we get into round 22, very important round. I believe if MSU loses this one, they get knocked down to an eco, which would allow. Yeah, this is a very pivotal round. Both teams' economy is just at the brinks. Winner of this round might decide the game, as we have Mika-chan running into a main again. Says, let the dark scan me, doesn't matter anymore, they know I'm here. And the
These
attackers.
Bulldogs scanned by that recon dart early. Jalen playing aggressive on the B line, gets an early kill, gets knocked down to 120 though. He's gonna play inside the smoke, try to stall out a bit longer. He knows that he's calling to his team, hey, they're on me, Lance coming down. He's living, every moment he lives longer, he's so valuable to his team. Comes on top of the box, finds one, there's another right under him, does he know? No. Brings him to a 3v3 though. Mika-chan gets the Odin kill, traded out by the Astra on site. Sova ult still in hand for UHSP. You see that reflected in the tempo from MSU Esports. They know they have to get onto the site. Bunga gets the trade onto Rain, taken down by the Sova, holding back nature. Huge round picked up from Eutectics there, as now it's 11-11, all tied up.
I mean, absolutely beautiful round there from the Eutectics. With that Sova ult kind of in that back pocket, it allows them to play a less aggressive post plant, which in that scenario allowed them to win it. Because then I think in a normal scenario we don't see Sova. Maybe we do, sitting there holding back nature. Eutectics kind of set up in a 3-2 setup here, and MSU Esports kind of walking down that B main, but it looks like they're getting read like a book again.
Rain with just a wicked shot on Ryu. He walked into a double peek, rips off the head of one, gets out all the same. I mean, that is an insane play. It's a 5v4 here. It's an eco for the Bulldogs. They have 3 huge ults online with the Waylay ults, the Harbor ult, hands the Astra ult. I mean, this round could get dangerous for Eutectics. Early ults committed to on this B site to try to stall a potential push.
And Mika-chan is pushed up through mid, hearing all of these rotates. Everyone should be running back through, and he decides to put off the line. And
Mika-chan just completely caught out there. He might have been in a good spot at some point, but Eutectics with their numbers comes out and clears them. Sova now on the attack. Here. Jalen does damage, but eventually he's killed, and Ian with that lurkins to spawn gets a kill to 2v4 now. Hope isn't looking great for the Eutectics, but 4 versus 2 is going to be hard to convert with just pistols from the Bulldogs. Ian falls back. Sova drone scans 1, and yeah, Eutectics, they're just going to play for the time with their Sova ults. They know they don't have to give any pick to the Bulldogs here. We just have to, in quick time, have to make this retake happen. It's unlikely right now. Shots ringing out, aren't able to find anything. Dubes now knows this round might be over. Hopefully thinking out onto how to force overtime out of next round. This is the last round of regulation and possibly the last round for MSU Maroon this season.
yeah, I feel like one thing that the Eutectics are doing is getting that Sova lurk up mid is just getting so much value. We've seen him the last 2 rounds of him getting a pick before MSU can really start that retake. I feel like a lot of the power right now is in the Eutectics' hand, especially with their ult economy just being so strong. 3 just massive ults coming into this round. Now we do see an Astra ult from both sides, so I see, I think a very strong post plan is going to set up. But MSU Esports opens up with a strong mid aggression once again.
Eutectics, they're going to put this early Astra ball down as a fake. However, Jalen spraying through, he might realize this might be fake. Playing that sound that's cut off by the Astra ult. Very strong. Where Mika-chan gets the early pick onto the jet, realizes that the A hit's coming through. Dude's going to commit the Harbor ult here, shuts down B site, able to fully clear it. And now Eutectics, they say, all right, we don't have to commit. We still have 57 seconds left on the clock. They're going to walk back towards B and mid and just play around with the map some more. They've got so much of this map control after using the Astral. They're going to use the KO ult here to commit onto B site. Jalen, with all this util cut off, knows that the hit's coming through. Plant soon to come down for the Eutectics. And we're in another retake scenario with the Astral Wall online for MSU. However, that KO knife is going to shut down all of the Bulldogs' util for the next 5 seconds or so. Eutectics here, they're lined up on site. They don't want to give them anything. Astral Wall coming in. Duke gets 1-2 fighting back site. Only Jalen left in the 1v3, seized on the line, and that's going to be the map going in favor of UHSP. 13-11 on this decider.
I mean, absolute brilliance on the attack half from both teams. Bit of a heartbreak loss there, especially having an 8-4 attack side. But, I mean, with Abyss on attack, there's, not much that you can do. I mean, anything you really want to focus on after that game there, Towery?
I mean, really what this came down to was the attack halves for both teams. I mean, it felt like every map teams were expecting 7, 8, 9 rounds even on that attack half. It's just both of these teams playing into that double duelist identity on Abyss and on Haven makes these attack halves really strong. And ultimately what the decider was which team could come up with the most rounds on defense, could make the most happen. And ultimately that went to UHSP, who were able to get just enough on the defense sides of Haven and Abyss, and that's how this series plays out.
Absolutely. I think MSU Maroon left a lot on the table with that Harbor comp. Just wanted to see a little bit more strong util out of that Harbor. Especially in that post plant scenario, I felt like there was a lot of times that we could have used that a little bit more to our advantage, but you live and you learn. You know, there's a lot to take away after this loss. Of course, with this, MSU has been eliminated from the playoffs, and unfortunately for Dubes and Bungo being seniors, that was their last game that we did get to watch. So we do want to thank both of them for all of their hard work during the season, and everyone else on the team. Y'all have been absolutely fantastic to watch. Uh, yeah, I mean, Tower, do you have anything that you wanna say?
Yeah, I mean, this Maroon team has been so impressive all year in Division 3, one of the most, competitive divisions. I mean, they're right below some really major competition in, once you get to Div 2 and Div 1, there's, like tier 2 teams competing in VCLs. So to be this solid in Div 3, to make it to this playoffs as one of the top seeds out of the groups, it's been so impressive, and this team has played so well. Most of this core being the same core from last year that made it to Division 4 finals and qualified themselves to Division 3. Bunga, of course, comes in for Pleb Lord, who graduated last semester and has played, fantastically on this team. Added a lot in terms of his, his controller play has been excellent, and allowed the rest of his team to play their comfort roles and play excellently. So really, this season, although it ends, sadly tonight in the first round of playoffs, this team has so much to be proud of, and a lot to show for their hard work. And hopefully in the next semester, a strong performance in Division 3 again.
Absolutely. Like you were saying, very strong teams in this division. I believe, what division were they in last semester? Were they?
They were in Division 4, made it all the way to finals through playoffs, and then lost to Embry-Riddle in the finals.
Gotcha. Yeah. So one thing, I mean, in all sports, it's about building for like the next people up. And this Maroon team has definitely done that for this organization, I guess you could say. Um, Now, I do want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. It was very much a pleasure casting for each and every one of y'all. With that, we are signing off. Y'all have a fantastic night, and we will see y'all next season.
Hail State.